Ready for action.
All right. We good? Awesome. Well, Darius, man, thanks for joining today. This is awesome for me because this is my first time doing an episode in the installment, so I appreciate you being here to kind of kick this off with me.
I think more for me, it's a legendary moment to be a part of like something brand new, right from the ground up, whatever. You my boy, so I'm excited to talk.
You've done podcasts before, right? I think I've seen
kind
a
of,
couple.
yeah. Like I've done like more kind of interview based stuff, whatever. Not nothing like an actual sit down, kind of conversation style, type video. You know, most times it's just them asking me the same questions over and over and over again, on repeat.
I know, but you're a boxer, so it comes with the territory. They're gonna be like, "Hey, who you fighting next?
Yeah.
You know what we got going on? When's the next training camp? All that stuff."
I remember, especially when I got on the team, COVID hit. I did so many interviews, and literally it was like questions on repeat. It's the exact same person asks the exact same question, and the next person asks the exact same questions. Pretty much almost had a script. Let me just write a script out of
journalism is dead, bro. I'm telling you now. I see interviews and I see the media now. It's so far from what it started as. Like media used to be so entertaining, and journalists would actually try. They don't give a shit no more. Now they don't care. They just want to get a headline, or they want to kind of talk about what everyone else is talking about. And it's so dry, so drab. So I like podcasts because they're different. Because,
a lot different.
Two people who have interacted before. You have a good conversation. You have stuff to talk about.
I have seen some stuff though. There's this guy. I'm probably gonna screw up his name. I don't know if you ever seen his video. His name was like Nardwar or something like that.
Yes, interviewer.
And it'd be the coldest stuff ever, where he was like bringing stuff up from their childhood. He's like, yo, how? And they're like,
they'd be shocked. They're
how the hell you know this? Like, who told you this?
He's good. He's always been good.
Always impresses me. I think that's like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I remember one guy, because I don't remember his name, and we were doing the interview, and he was asking me some questions, and I'm like, how do you know this? Yeah, how you know that?
Yeah.
I literally said that during that. How you know that?
Yeah, that's good.
But it was like very specific questions where I'm like, but you'd only have known that like if you were there. How do you? So I thought that was like really impressive. That's always the greatest thing about people who are really good at journalism, right?
Yeah.
But then, and especially being an athlete, doing a lot of interviews and talking to a lot of people, and the worst thing ever blows my mind. I'm like, it's the most unprofessional thing ever. Is they jack up my name, right?
I know.
And not only they jack up my name, right? On like the article I'm reading, right? They spell my name one way, wrong. Then later down the article, they spell it wrong again, a different way than they had it the first time. I'm like, yo, you're killing me, dog.
I was gonna say your name wrong.
I was like,
I feel it, bro. When I first met you, I thought it was Fulgham, and then you're like, nah.
Well, close enough. I take that. You know what I'm saying? I really don't care. It's been jacked up my whole life, whatever, where people couldn't really say it right, so it's expected. And so I wouldn't even be tripping if it was wrong consistently.
Yeah.
Right? And it was wrong, spelled the same way wrong. No, they spelled it wrong multiple different times.
Yeah, different ways.
I'm like, yo, that is just, that's terrible.
So say it right so we get it on record. Okay. Everyone knows.
So everybody knows.
If you're watching this is how you say his name. So say it right.
It's Darius Fulgham.
There we go.
That's
it. If you see anyone else in the interview say it wrong, bring him back here
and we'll go,
so we can get another view, and then they can also learn how to say it right. Oh man, but back to the Olympics, bro. I was actually curious about that because I remember I had seen some of those interviews that you had during the Olympics, and I also saw that you had won the trials, like you had won the qualifying trials in 19. And why did you kind of decide? I'm just curious, like why did you decide to take a step towards pro instead of just waiting and doing the Olympics? Or can't you do both? You can't do both, like pro.
Nah, not necessarily. Very kind of hard to explain, but USA, they allow pros in the Olympics, but USA doesn't normally do that, right? They actually did it this Olympics, right? It was just a crazy exception because of COVID. But long story short, after I won the trials, got on the team, we had one more thing to do to qualify for the Olympics, and that was we had to go to these qualifiers. So we were supposed to go to Argentina. Plan was to go to Argentina, and we were going to compete to get our spot in the Olympics. But COVID happened. Olympics got postponed a whole another year, right? They're like, damn, what's going to happen? Was a whole bunch of uncertainty. Was the Olympics going to happen? I don't know. Find out they just postponed it a year, and they was like, okay, well, we'll still compete and stuff. And then they moved our qualifier to next year, like in May or something. May's coming around, May 2021, and boom, they canceled that event.
Damn.
I was like, yo, what?
Yeah.
And so it was unfortunate for me and a couple other teammates where that was our only way of getting in, right? So what they ended up doing was they went by old ranking points from like 2019 and before. Me, a couple of my teammates, we weren't on the team at the time, so we didn't have any ranking points. And so that's how they brought pros back. Some of the pros that was on the team back then, they had the points that qualified them for the Olympics. So
the trials just kind of became obsolete.
Yeah, ultimately it did, right? Actually,
that's ridiculous.
Actually,
you got first, right? You were first in it.
Yeah.
In heavyweight, right?
Right.
That's so ridiculous.
Pretty much trials really didn't matter at that point anymore. So, Olympics happened. You know, that was my whole goal, right? Was for the Olympics,
I've heard a lot about the Olympics. You'd have a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, bro.
I've heard some crazy stories, like not personally in my life, but just like people that I watch or like look at who've been to the Olympics. They say the camp is crazy.
Yeah,
like the athletes have the most fun.
I've heard the same thing. They have like they be having like Olympic branded condoms at the
exactly. What you think they doing in them tents?
Right. But you know the funniest thing, my brother said he was like, that's so stupid. Like that's the perfect breeding ground to like great superhumans. You know what I'm saying? You got top tier athletes in one place that having sex or whatever. Like that's the ultimate place to have like the most athletic babies on the planet.
You'll have like 10 Ngannous come out of there, like 6 Deontay Wilders.
Like, you have freaking legends.
Ronaldo's come out of there. Like it'd be crazy.
Yeah, and people wasting that, man. It's just a waste.
Yeah, that would have been an experience, bro.
But besides like all that, I mean, it was a lot different though, I think, this time around because they had to be really tight on the COVID regulations. So I'm pretty sure, right, even from stuff that I heard, that it wasn't necessarily the same experience as like any other Olympics. Crazy is like Olympic year is always something crazy in the world going on. I think like 2016 was when what was the
still election year too, right?
It's always something going on.
Always something.
Bro. You know, it's funny. They always around that time say, you know, they're just trying to like
distract
us, right?
100%. I'm with that. I am with that.
That makes sense.
That's a whole other conversation we can go into, bro.
They always say so. There's always something. What was because 2016 was the Olympics in Brazil.
Yeah. What was 2016? I think 2016 was...
There was another disease that came out. It was wasn't Zika. It was
Zika. Yeah, Zika was a minute ago, right?
No, that was before that. It was.
I mean, 2016. I think Trump just stole the show with all his antics. Like that just had everyone's attention.
Yeah.
Everything he was tweeting, everything he was saying was like #1 news.
Bro had Twitter on fire, though.
Bro, like he had the world on fire.
He had the world on fire.
He was the superstar in 2016. But like, like 20.
Yeah, that dude's death probably was the most trending thing. It was like anything he did, trending, yo.
Yeah.
He over in Puerto Rico shooting paper towels at people. Like, what is wrong with this dude, dog? I always ask.
He's entertaining, man.
I always ask other people, especially when I was on the team, we interacted with a lot of other countries and stuff from people from all over the world. And I always ask them, like, man, what do y'all think about America? Like, especially this was when Trump was in office. What do y'all really think about America? Y'all probably think we some stupid, like this, the guy leading our country. It's just, you know, that dude's antics was off the chain. But
but it's funny because they always watch us. Like, that's the one thing I hear from other people who've lived in other countries is they're always watching us. We're always in their news. Like whatever America's doing
going on is top news.
Is always being covered by other countries. So that continues to show me. I think when that changes, that's when I'll be worried about living here. Because if we're still not like the number one, I think that makes us the number one when everyone's watching you.
Right.
You're on a pedestal for a reason.
Trying to see what you're trying to do.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just like any other celebrities. We always watching the celebrities, what they doing.
Yeah.
You know, ain't got no privacy. You can't hide nothing from them. It's like people always tune into their life to see what's going on because it's like you say, put them on a pedestal, right?
Have you started feeling that yet? Because you've been, training with some like high level boxers, some pretty well known boxers. You're starting to get some traction yourself. People are talking about you and stuff. So have you started feeling that like, damn, I'm getting kind of.
I don't think I ever will either. For a lot of reasons, like even as far as like celebrities goes, I don't put anybody like on a pedestal, right? Like. Because I don't know them, you know what I'm saying? And I think there's a lot of misconception on how media markets and portrays people.
Yeah.
And I think once you actually get to actually know somebody, like, I thought you was kind of have these preconceived
Mhm.
ideas about them, about how they're like marketing, how they're showing on social media.
Yeah.
Find out not that person at all.
Regular
you know
person.
What I'm saying? They're just
Yeah.
regular people.
Mm-hmm.
And especially as far as like in the boxing world goes, like I can't have respect for anybody. I don't care if somebody's fought. I don't care if somebody's a world champion. I don't care if somebody's fought on TV. Especially if they put them in front of me. Like I think of myself on that same level too.
Yeah. You
Right.
have to, bro. You have to, because you could fight them one day.
Right.
So it's like
No,
you
exactly.
gotta be that way.
And then if they put me like in the ring with, let me use Canelo for example. Canelo's the hottest boxer out right now. Put me in the ring with Canelo. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is Canelo. Right.
Mhm.
You give somebody too much respect like that, you automatically put yourself beneath them, dog. It's just you mess up yourself mentally, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're gonna freeze up. Like, oh my gosh, like this, da da da.
Yeah.
Nah, you can't be too big for any moment, not for any person at that.
Mm-hmm.
At least maybe for a moment. For a person, no.
Yeah.
So I don't think, to answer your question, I don't think I ever think of myself like that. You know, I'm a humble guy as it comes, chill. So I don't think I ever think like, oh, like I'm that
yeah,
dude.
100%. That's what, like when we met at like that's what I gathered first, because I was like, I didn't see you fight at the time. I hadn't seen you kind of work or anything. You were just like, hey, you know, are you down? I'll teach you some stuff. And I was like, damn, this is awesome. I appreciate it.
Right.
You had your own shit going on. You were, you know, with Darnell, with your team, like getting ready to train, but you're like, hey, hop in, I'll do some work with you. And since then, honestly, I've noticed that you, even at your skill level, because now I got to see you fight. I got punched in the face by you a few times. So now I know what you got. And you still remain humble, which is like really good to see.
Right.
And that I was thinking about that, not just with you, but just in general, because, you know, there's two schools of thought, I feel like. There's the school of thought where you have people who are like, I need to do self-hypnosis, like the Andrew Tates of the world. He even said that in an interview. He's like, every word that comes out of my mouth is self-hypnosis to tell myself, like, I'm that dude.
Right.
But then you have the other school of thought that's just like, you know, remain humble. Like, you know who you are, but there's no need to say it. There's no need to portray it. And you see success in both areas. And I was just thinking about that. And, you know, I was like, I personally probably gravitate more. I think I told the line a little bit, you know, sometimes I'm like saying stuff that extravagates me, or I don't even know if that's a word, but kind of like, you know, hypnotizes myself. And then I say other things where I'm just kind of remaining humble, like leave it unsaid, let my actions kind of speak.
Right.
And I think you, from what I've seen, gravitate more towards that kind of being humble too.
I do. It kind of, you know, I'll say the same thing as you. I think I'm in a little line of both, right? But now that stuff I don't necessarily say out loud. I don't need to say that to other people. You know what I mean? Originally, I remember when I first started boxing, as far as like marketing and stuff goes, you see a lot of people who are very loud, very like telling the world, oh, I'm the greatest, you know, you've seen all the way from, you see Muhammad Ali, Mayweather was always doing the same thing, where they're very like in your face about, oh, I'm good, I'm great, I'm great, right? And that works a lot success-wise for a lot of people, but as far as like marketing go, I thought for myself, I don't want to be the guy to be like, oh yeah, I'm good, I'm great, I'm this, right? I much rather other people tell people that I'm good, right? I don't, you know, it comes off more genuine that way, for one. And then two, it means a lot more, right? You know, if you're telling somebody about, you know, your home, I'm telling you about a business that I got, and I'm the greatest one out. It's like, right? But if you have somebody that you trust, right, telling you that, yo, Derek's got one of the best business I've ever been, right? It comes off a lot more like, oh, really? Like, the fact that somebody else is saying it, you know, I'm biased. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Of course I'm going to say I'm great, right? Of course I'm going to say it, right? But when you got other people saying it, it means a lot more. That word of mouth is way more powerful than me saying it, right? So
100%, bro. But I think it's getting lost too, because you see, like you said, in boxing now, and not even just boxing, most platforms where it requires some level of marketing, you see like motherfuckers always saying some shit about who they are, or like talking shit, like boxing and the fight game is about talking shit. Like YouTube and social media, it's about flexing. You know, you got to show off your shit. You got to show your cars, your women, all that shit. And I think people are unfortunately starting to gravitate towards that. But you see the kids nowadays are all glued to their phone watching these dudes who are flexing or talking big about themselves. The people who are humble, that are really the people they should be watching, are like not getting any shine, because That's what sells nowadays.
That's true. It is what sells, and the sales is actually the big word, right? Because any sort of business also, right, is real good salesmen know how to like really sell their product to somebody, right? I'm gonna use a random example, like a personal trainer or something like that. This personal trainer can have no experience, not knowing nothing.
Yeah.
But they can be a good talk, they can be a good salesman, and they can convince people that don't know nothing about this product that it's a perfect product for them, right? They can have no experience in nutrition or fitness or anything, never done anything athletic in their life, but if they can really talk, they can tell somebody, oh yeah, and if they're confident in how they speak, they can really convince anybody anything. So that's why I even think like personal training, big example. I think that's dead. There's so many people in this business. I've been around for a long time that really don't know what they're talking about.
I see fat trainers
all the time, dog.
How the hell? Like,
don't make no sense.
And I see the people training with them. I'm like, you're looking at the end product.
Yeah,
of what
right.
You're learning,
right. Hey, look,
that's what you want to be.
And they like your parents be saying, "Do as I say, not as I do."
Yeah.
You know, so. You're right on the money with it, right? Like, I mean, that's the whole big thing of marketing is people are really selling themselves to these people, and they're constantly in their face, constantly hearing it. Where people then, again, you're talking about hypnosis. Word is hypnosis, and they're buying into what they're talking about. They're believing the hype, right? Because they just don't know any better, right?
Yeah.
And that's how marketing, even in boxing, you know, like what they do for prospects coming up is they create this story and they create this narrative that this prospect, oh, he's fighting a guy that's 10, 15 and 0 or whatever. But you don't know that this guy that's 15 and 0, if you go down his box rec, has fought somebody that's 0 and 10. He's fought somebody that's 1 and 5.
Yeah.
He hasn't fought anybody, but just that 15-0, it looks very appealing. Like, oh my gosh, it's an undefeated fighter. This looks really good. And then so then the other guy just destroys him, and it makes him look way bigger than what he actually is, just because of that story. Because people just don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Any casual person watching boxing, they see 2 undefeated fighters. It's like, oh man, this is a huge fight. Both people are really good. They haven't lost.
Yeah.
And that narrative then now draws to make this dude much bigger than what he is. You know, so it's all about telling a story. That's all marketing really is, right?
Yeah. That's why I don't like the landscape of boxing right now, because you have to compare it to like a successful promotion. Like for me, that's UFC. Combat sports, different sport. It's MMA, but it's one promotion with all the best fighters.
Right.
If boxing was able to do that, bro, I think the landscape would be so different, and the O wouldn't matter as much, because you'd still have the best fighting the best, whether they lose or win. You'd still have them circulating against different opponents, the same guys, maybe rematches.
Right.
O's wouldn't matter. Right now, I feel like the game loves the O. Like, they value the O so much that they'll protect the fighter, and we won't, like, Tank and Ryan. Should have seen that a while ago. Or Haney, any of them. Like, they should have been fighting each other for years.
That's the biggest one.
Spence Crawford, bro. I'm saying, so.
I remember even before I started boxing, I remember the Mayweather Pacquiao was supposed to happen a long time ago, and that drawn out all the way today, like in their 40s.
Yeah, how old was he? How old was Pacquiao when that fight happened? He was pretty old, right?
They were both old. I think, and Pacquiao, I think, was older than Floyd. Yeah, no, I think Floyd's older than Pacquiao. I think, but
yeah, what happened? I tried to look into it just to learn and kind of see where the change happened, because it wasn't like that. Hagler Hearn era, they would fight each other every other month, like Hagler versus Hearn.
It's different. I think the promoters understand the business a lot better, right? And so now, granted, you got to think as far as business, and we're the consumers, right? Our fans are the consumers. We want certain things to happen, but again, they understand, I think, a little bit better on how to tell the story, right? And so they drag it out where it's like we're fiending for it. Like, we want this so bad. Where it's like, yo, when are we going to finally get it? Then when we finally get it, they know people going to buy into it, right? And then as far as like the multiple belts, all the different sanctioning bodies, bro. Right? They do it again because championship fights, people hear championship fights.
Champion versus champion.
It holds a lot more weight to people. It's like, oh, it's a championship fight, right? And so that's how they're trying to get more money. They're really just milking money. It's all, like I said, it's all about telling a story. I think it's dumb too, right? I do, but I don't see them changing it, because this is, again, a way that they're making a lot more money off of these fights. Yeah. Rather than how often, fighters are only going to fight 2 times at that level, 2 times a year, right? Now they're gonna have in each weight class. They're gonna have a championship fight. What? How often?
They have a championship fight like every
weekend,
other month.
It's like every weekend they're having championship fights, right?
Yeah.
Because they split it up that way. Like I said, it adds to the story, right?
Yeah, definitely makes them more money. I see what you're saying, and
and so that's how they look at it on their side, business sense, right?
Yeah.
As a fan, it's like, this is stupid. Why we can't just fight, right? But the reason why we want these fights to happen so bad is because of how they built it up, where it's like they got us really craving it, right? And that's why we want it so bad. If we didn't see Crawford and Spence and their journeys all the way to the top and them fighting all these people, and it's like, oh, this is a potential matchup we want to see, and they keep dragging out, it's like, yo, when are we going to see this fight? Just because they dragged it out. If they fought early in their career, nobody would have cared, right? But just the story that built up made us care for that fight.
That's true, actually. You're right. And that changed my perspective a little bit, because you're right. Because if they hadn't built a story, we may not have even wanted to see Crawford and Spence.
Yeah, we wouldn't even want to see it. It's just been a normal fight. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine you think of any other opponent that maybe Spence or Crawford has beat along the way. If they were promoted differently and they were taking a different route, still winning, knocking other people out, then we would have wanted to see that fight happen. Yeah. Right? Rather than when they fought earlier, it's like, we didn't really care.
That also tells me, though, how good the PR machine at the UFC is, because they'll bring a fighter in on his debut, and we all want to be like, damn, who is this dude? Like, because they'll make him seem like the man, and he's his first fight in the UFC, and we're all tuning in. Like,
tuned in, bro. UFC is killed it. I'm not gonna lie, UFC has done the best probably with it. Actually, I know this is a little different. Probably the best is probably done with stuff is like WWE as far as like entertainment business, right?
You ever watched that? You watched it growing up?
Bro, yes.
Stone Cold was my man, bro.
Even when I knew it was fake, I was still loving it because I was invested in the storylines, man. Yep. The storylines, everything. When I remember like Undertaker, I'm really thinking Undertaker and Kane are brothers for real. Like I was so bought into this. I was so bought, and I'm not sure that's just because I was a kid, but there's like grown adults who are big wrestling fans. So I don't even think it was just because I was a kid, right? But it was just so entertaining, bro.
Yeah, bro. Vince started that. He made
it what it is.
Like he made that bravado in combat sports, and even though technically it's not a combat sport, but it is.
Yeah.
He made that bravado a thing, and he still to this day is running it out because like people, you think WWE has died down, but it hasn't. People just now hate Roman Reigns instead of when they used to love Stone Cold. They hate Roman as much as they
gotta have the villain though.
Exactly. So it's like they know how to build people so well. But like actual fighting, UFC, man.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing to watch.
I'm big about UFC, so especially about their marketing and PR team, dog. When I say they've done such a great job, you've done a really good job when you kind of like I'm gonna mess up this word, synonymize. I don't know.
I made a word earlier too. So
all right. So synonymize. That's the word we're going with. Yeah. When you put two words, and you put them together. So UFC now equals MMA. MMA is UFC.
Yes, so true.
MMA is UFC.
To the casual fan, they don't know the difference.
They don't. It's like, oh, you do UFC? No, actually, I do MMA. I'm in Bellator.
I've heard that so much, bro. Right? So much.
And it's the people now have been brainwashed to correlate those two to be the exact same things.
Yep.
That's how great the marketing is. When you become that, it's when you know you've made it. I'm going to say there's no way, right? Nothing's impossible. It is very hard to shut down UFC, right? And when they built it up that well, right? They have UFC gyms all over the world now, right? They have their whole branding, bro, is UFC everywhere, right? And we talk a lot about they talk about Dana White not really paying the fighters, right? And I've talked to people that say, well, why don't they just leave the UFC and go somewhere else? And
they will not get the promotion anywhere else.
No, it's close. Hard, dog. And it's hard to compete with UFC because the top are like 1% of fighters that make really, really good money in the UFC, right? They aren't going to just leave. It's like, well, I got it good. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Ngannou just did. You saw that?
Yeah, I did actually see that.
That's crazy. I'm so pissed.
There's a lot of stuff then when I was looking into his the stuff about his contract and stuff that I didn't fully understand, and I found out like I really don't know much about the UFC business and how it's structured. he was saying something about he wanted their own sponsorships.
Yeah, so
And
the way
I was like, yo, they don't get their own sponsorships? I had no idea about that. But I guess maybe UFC as their business, like we have our own sponsorships and that's how we're going to make more money.
yeah,
So no, you can't have your own because it's going to mess up our sponsorships that we have. That's what I'm assuming. Don't know. But that threw me off when I found out they don't get their own sponsorships. I was like, what?
yeah. So
You know?
the way I understood it and the way he kind of described it, Ngannou, this is Ngannou, like he had an interview recently, and he kind of said his biggest issue with the contract was that the UFC always refers to their fighters as independent contractors, which they are. Same thing with boxers. You guys are independent contractors with Top Rank or with Showtime. So he said, I'm an independent contractor, but then there was clauses in certain sections of the contract that referred to me and kind of defined him as an employee of the UFC, not an independent contractor, which basically locked him into the contract. So it was very favorable to the company, and I believe it.
Always favors, always
I 100%
one-sided, bro.
believe that.
Always one-sided.
And so what he wanted to do was be able to kind of, cross over, because he's been talking about boxing Tyson Fury for a minute, or Deontay Wilder. So he wanted to be able to do that crossover. But what his biggest complaint was is that, they call me an independent contractor, but the contract doesn't, treat me as such. The sponsorship, I don't know about that. That's the first time I'm hearing about that.
I had seen something about that, and I was like, "What?"
That's crazy. If that's
I remember that. I remember some of the sponsorships, the health insurance, and then it was also about he wanted to box, and they were like, "No."
Yeah.
And I was listening to, oh man, I can't remember the guys. I'm struggling with people's names right now. There's somebody else. He was in the fighting in the UFC for a long time. Was a champ, and I was listening to his argument about the contract and saying what his thoughts on it. And one of the things he was saying about why UFC wouldn't want him to go into boxing, there's several reasons. Some of them make sense, some not so much. He felt like it would have hurt his stock. So if Ngannou was to go fight Tyson Fury,
get knocked out cold,
and get knocked, it would hurt his stock in the UFC, right? And I don't necessarily think that it would. I say this because nobody expects Ngannou to beat Fury.
Exactly.
Right? It'd been different. They expect it's a 30-1 odds that Ngannou's gonna beat Fury, and then Ngannou loses, and it's like, yo, what the?
Yeah.
Right. Nobody expects Ngannou to beat Fury.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Not only are you saying it'll hurt his stock, I feel like it would improve his stock. You got him going into another sport, competing against one of the most entertaining boxers out right now, Tyson Fury. Right. I feel like that would only improve his stock.
Yeah.
That's one. Right. Then obviously he can go back to the UFC, and people are still going to be entertained by him.
And it's like an event, it's like Mayweather McGregor. It's like
okay,
it's
so
an
that
event.
was gonna be my next point exactly. Was did it hurt McGregor's stock when he lost to Mayweather? No, it did not hurt his stock.
Made it bigger. The Khabib fight was the biggest pay-per-view event in UFC history.
It didn't he didn't lose his stock. He only. Now I'm thinking on the difference on the contracts and why McGregor was allowed to fight.
Because he's McGregor. That's why. he's an enigma in the game. I mean, he literally changed the UFC. You could see the difference. His impact is so noticeable on their value too. Like that's why Dana was able to sell it for like $4.2 billion or something when he sold it to EMG. I mean, that's nuts. Like he made that money. Like he's the reason why he was able to value the UFC at that high level of price. So I think Dana's his bitch. That's what I think. I think whatever Conor wants, Conor gets.
Conor, you want what? You want your dick sucked? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Dana's like, when? Today? Before the meeting?
I got a meeting in 15 minutes. I think I can.
Conor's like, come on, give it to me now. But yeah, unless you're Conor, I think the UFC has full control over you, even if you're the heavyweight champion of the UFC. And so I respect Ngannou for taking a stand, because most people will fold, and no one, even John Jones, he was complaining about the money he was getting paid before he moved up to heavyweight, and he didn't take a stand. He was like, all right, he conceded, and now he's about to fight Gane for the belt. Right. But Ngannou was like, nah, I know what I can get. I'm gonna get it. And I hope it works out for him. That's
an important thing, man. You have to know your worth, right? Yeah. And I'm gonna give an example too of. People were like, oh, he should have. I can't remember the number again, how much his contract was for the 3 fights. It felt like it was like $8 million a fight. So I think it was $24 million for his contract. And people like, he's not gonna get that much money anywhere else.
One boxing
fight.
Bro,
I was if he fights Tyson Fury or a mega fight like that happens off of one fight alone,
60,
and he's not even expected to win. You know what I mean? He doesn't
Yeah.
have no expectations to even win that fight, and he's making that money. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, I mean, I think it was like I said, I'm gonna say it's a smart move. You never really know if it's a
Yeah.
smart move until it
If it
pans
pays
out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, like I said, I'm all for people who are sticking to their guns and they're gonna follow their belief and their values. So I respect it a lot on his end.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, just like you said, they don't have the balls to really stick to that and do it.
Yeah.
So I really hope it pays out for him too.
Does that make boxing like top heavy? Because the payment structure in boxing has confused me. At UFC, you understand it a little bit more because fighters talk about it more.
Mhm.
But boxing seems so top heavy to me. Like, I don't want you to like obviously share your finances on your make on a fight, but is it that much of a disparity between like the top 5 in a division versus, you know, up and coming fighters in a division? Is it like such a huge spread, and if
Bro.
you have to get to that level to start making some real money?
Bro. Well, yeah. When you get to that level, you're gonna make some crazy.
Yeah.
And then, like, I mean, you can always look up how much some fighters is making. But my thing is, and I say I honestly don't know, but they always say that's not actually how they make, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's just the disclosed purse.
They make more, right? Usually.
Oh yeah, and then it's, again, I'm not sure about the sponsorship stuff for UFC because that threw me off when I heard that. I don't know how true that is, but think of how much these fighters are making off sponsorships. They're making easy, depending who they are. You know, they could probably make seven figures on sponsorships alone.
Couldn't even consider what he's making, man.
Canelo signed a contract like Ngannou. This and the Ngannou contract is one of the biggest contracts. Canelo had signed a contract where he was getting, I think $33 million a fight. You're talking about a fight.
That's just a show?
You're talking about a fight, dog.
That's just show money?
Yes, off of just the show money. He had a contract. He's getting $33 million off of fight.
That's
how
ridiculous.
crazy is that? He had some on Nganou's biggest contract. He's getting $24 million for 3 fights. You know, ridiculous. There's people making $10 million to Tyson Fury, and especially in heavyweight division too. At that, they're the ones making probably the most money. Anthony Joshua. They looked at some of his stuff. I think some stuff he's making like $50 million or something. Again, don't quote me on these numbers, right?
Yeah.
But they're extremely high, and there's a lot more.
I believe it.
A
Sounds
lot more
right.
boxers, right?
Yeah.
And that's what Jake Paul has been arguing and fighting with Dana White about this entire time. About he's not paying his fighters. But again, UFC is very hard to take down, right? Because they're branded so well, right? Where it's for a big collection of UFC fighters to go against the UFC and try to go into a whole different company or whatever, or even for a new company to start, right? For them to say, oh, we need to start our own new company, right? For them to do that, you know how much the amount of money it would take, the amount of marketing and PR it would take, and the amount of
compete,
amount of people to be able to compete with that. Because again, you'd have to get the most of the roster to go inside and agree to this and join this new company or whatever. Very hard to happen, and I just don't honestly see it happening.
Bro, you saw, I don't know if you saw Khabib started his own promotion. He started his own MMA promotion like a couple years ago or a year ago. And I don't even think they've made a dent. And like, that's Khabib. He's like one of the bigger stars in the UFC. I haven't heard about his promotion since it dropped. Like, it was a big deal when it was about to come out, and it's called Eagle FC, Eagle Fighting Championship.
Okay, I have heard of that name
in Miami. And so they made an arena. They, built it up. It was big news. Like, Dana had talked about it in some of his interviews. And then after like the first 2 events, maybe I haven't heard about it since. Like, not a peep. And it's like, that's a guy who's built his name in the sport, and he can't even get a promotion kind of even close. I think Bellator is still talked about way more than Khabib's promotion. And the UFC has such a stranglehold, which I don't know. I still don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing or a good thing, because the good thing is they put on the best fights, like by far. The fights they put on, I tune in every damn near every weekend. Like, I don't know if there's a card tonight, but if there is, I'm gonna watch it for sure. I'm gonna watch that I'll watch the Butterbeer main event, but I'm gonna watch the UFC until that time, and then switch over and like have them both playing at the same time.
Right.
But their fights are just incredible, and I think until someone can emulate that in I think this goes for every sport. Unless you can emulate the best fighting the best, because that's what the fans want. We want to see the people who we think are the best fight the people who we think are the best. Until someone else can do that, they won't be able to compete. And the only way to do that is to get some of those fighters from the UFC and be like, hey, we'll throw you back.
Yeah,
Come
yo,
on.
throw your bag.
Yeah.
That costs a lot of money. It's very risky, right?
Yeah.
And then, but I even heard like Jake Paul went and tried to sign a UFC not UFC. Yeah, I did it again.
Yeah,
I said,
PFL, right?
Yeah,
Was
with
it
PFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Signed a, I feel it was like a 3-fight deal or something.
Mhm.
Trying to fight. What's his name? Diaz.
Oh, in PFL? I didn't know that was the opponent.
Again, don't know the truth behind it. Nothing has been officially confirmed or announced or whatever, but that's what I heard. Which again, I think Jake Paul's the best hope. Jake Paul's the best hope of trying to take UFC down. If there's anybody, he'll probably be the one to do it.
Out of all motherfuckers.
Out of everybody.
That dude.
Out of everybody, the one that people clown the most,
Oh my
Jake
goodness.
Paul is the hero. I think he's going to
Jake,
put
you're
on
our
his
savior
cake.
if you're listening.
Yeah. You're the
Save
one
the
that-
fighters, man. That's it.
I respect Jake Paul a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about him
I'm not gonna
because-
say like he definitely, as far as his boxing skills go, I'm not praising him in that aspect, but I am praising him as not saying a person either. I'm not gonna praise him as a person, but some of the stuff that he has done for fighters though, I respect a lot. There was a fight that he was supposed to have happened that got canceled,
Mm-hmm.
and all the people in the undercard, he still paid them 50% of their purses.
Damn, that's real.
And I will guarantee you no other promotion, nobody
even.
else would ever do that.
Yeah.
Ever. Fight don't happen, I'm sorry, you're not getting paid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then there was another card where he took a lot of money from his own purse and paid it to everybody else that was on the card. Right? It made us around our first $1 million payday, right?
Dude, he's rocking with her like
huge-
heavy. He
huge
puts
for
her
women's-
on big
So,
time.
yeah, I respect him a lot for that stuff, what he's done for fighters and for the sport. So
I was gonna ask about his skill though. I wanted to see what your opinion on. None.
No.
None for us, like the average viewer. You know, it seems like because of the way that he
Right.
matches up with his opponents. But no, you don't think he would hang with like?
But again, that's the whole thing I say about like he's doing it the right way, just like any other promoter would do it, on how he's like slowly increasing the skill level of each opponent or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
How all promoters do it for any prospect coming up. Fight nobodies, and you slowly creep up in the competition. So, and you know, he beat Anderson Silva, right?
Yeah.
Which Anderson Silva, I think, is still a pretty decent boxer, right?
Yeah.
So
He beat Chavez Jr.
shout out to that. Yeah.
Like,
Silva beat Chavez, but again, Chavez is not a good fighter to me. Also,
You don't think so? I mean, he went what? He went the distance with Canelo, right?
Which don't know how. I think I remember that. I remember that fight because I think he was like surviving the entire time.
Yeah, he was getting his ass whooped the whole
Yeah,
time.
he was but he was just in survival mode though, and it was the most boring fight
Bro,
ever.
his dad was so disappointed.
Oh,
Like, I
man.
think he wanted to adopt
Hey, I
Canelo on the spot. Like, he wanted to switch. He was gonna talk to Canelo's dad and be like, "Let's switch sons."
Yeah, come
'cause
on, yeah.
That's my son.
Yeah,
Clearly,
yeah.
this is your son. 'cause,
Disappointment.
bro. That's I don't know about Jake. I mean, he's bringing a lot of a shine to the sport, though. I mean,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, that's good for boxing, I think. Or do you think? What do you think?
I think it's good for boxing. I
Right.
mean, it kind of in a sense, a lot of people have kind of different opinions about it because it's bringing a lot more people realizing, okay, so boxing is just an entertainment sport, period, right? It is what it is, entertainment, right? Skills honestly do not matter. When you're at school and the two most like popular kids are finna fight, everybody's tuned in,
Mhm.
right? Even if they can fight or not,
Yeah.
or even whoever's fighting at school, people are tuned in because it's just fighting. People want to see people
Mhm.
fight.
No one
But
cares when the quiet black belt fights. They care when the
everything is all
loudmouths.
about marketing. People can bring
Mhm.
people in the seats to tune in to see them fight, right? So basically, what I'm getting at is you find out just any influencers can fight, and people are gonna be tuned in as long as they care about them, right?
Mhm.
As influencers, as long as they can bring people to the seat. So I think he did start the wave where a lot more people who can't actually box have stepped on the scene to try it out and make a bag, you
Yeah.
know. So I guess it's kind of wrong in that sense, right?
Mhm.
Because now I'm watching fights where I'm like, it's so hard.
You should be you in there making the bag.
I'm
like,
this
we should have
embarrassing.
a real fighter does.
Right.
Like, let me hop in there.
But the thing is, I respect it though. At the same time, people are like, man, he shouldn't be making this money in boxing. He hasn't trained as hard as I have, or he hasn't. Yes, but you know what he has done? He has marketed his ass off,
Mhm.
which a lot of these people can't do.
Yeah.
Right? That marketing yourself is extremely
Number one
hard.
skill. You have to learn that.
Extremely hard, right?
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of time, effort, energy, or even money, right?
Mhm.
And so a lot of these boxers who are complaining, market yourself. You market yourself like he did, guarantee you'll be making the same amount of money. but you can't do that because that's just hard to do.
Mhm.
Right? If it's easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah.
You know, easy, everybody would do it. So I don't think anybody should be complaining necessarily about that, right? But besides that, yeah, I think he has brought more attention to the sport, and I think the dude's kind of funny. Not gonna lie to you. He did this one thing when he was fighting Tyron Woodley. The funniest thing I've ever seen, where they was kind of talking back and forth, talking. They was doing like a face off, just like how we sitting now, and they was talking back and forth, kind of going at it, yeah. And then he was like, you know what, I just want to, look, I got you a gift, man, right? Got you something. Want to give this to you. And he gave him a gift. It's a Rolly, right? Yes, bro. And Tyron really opened up the gift and it's rolling. His whole energy changed. He was like, "Oh my gosh, man, Rud, thank you so much. Yo, what in the hey, da da da." And then the guy that was like the mediator was like, "Well, hey, Jake, why'd you, gift him this Rolex watch?" And he was like, "Because it's time to get knocked the fuck out." I'm like, bro, this dude spent how much money to give him a Rollie just for that joke, bro?
I know.
Just for a joke.
And then when it knocked him the fuck out.
And then actually did it. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Damn. So, anyway, I don't want to sound like I'm a big Jake Paul fan, whatever, but there's a lot of stuff I do respect about it. I'm just being a realist in my opinion about it. But, as far as boxing skills, not biggest fan, but stuff he's done for the sport, for other fighters, I got to respect.
Yeah, I mean, he did lead the way, like you said, because I've seen you've trained with some influencers, technically. Like, AP technically now moved to influencer boxing. Right. And you trained with him, right? You trained with AP? Yeah. How was that? Like, how do you think it's easier for athletes to cross over into boxing, or is it just a myth? Like people who have an athletic background can work and get better at boxing quicker than like an average person?
I think they get better because I feel like a lot of athletic movements translate to just any sport. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A true athlete can really do any sport. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot quicker for them to learn, right? Because I feel like there's a lot of similar aspects across the board. I could talk to a tennis player, right? And we could talk about some of it, turning the hips, this rotation of the power.
Everything. Every sport has that motion in it.
It all translates. Same thing with even a baseball player. Or I could talk to a fencer about just even the footwork. Like a lot of stuff translate, you know? So yeah, I do think it makes it a lot easier. But I think with like Adrian though, he never boxed before, didn't really have much time. Yeah. You know, he took the fighters like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, that was bad. I'm not gonna lie.
And he didn't have like long really training for it. Le'Veon's been training for a while. Le'Veon actually didn't look that bad. You know what I'm saying? But he had a lot more experience than Adrian had, right? Yeah. And so,
I'm surprised that shot knocked him out because he was leaning forward. Yeah. When he hit that right hand.
He's boop.
And it just like it was like almost like an arm shot, but damn, that shit rocked him. Like,
I think people don't really understand. Like, one, those are huge men. Yeah. First of all, right? And I don't think people really understand how like small these gloves really are, right? And how much they actually hurt, right?
Oh my!
And I think people take it for granted and be like, oh, blah blah blah, whatever. But yeah, no, them gloves hurt. I remember for my first fight, I was in the bag. I had my gloves on already and stuff, and I was just like, I always do this before I spar, even before I fight. I kind of hit myself, whatever, just get my face ready for impact, right? Yeah. Just know because it's a fight, you probably gonna get
beat
hit.
Your own ass. Okay,
right? Cool. Yeah. Cool. If I can do it, he can't do it, right? And so I was like, kind of just like tapping myself, just like this, like boom, boom, boom. Bro, that hurt, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
You almost rocked yourself.
No, I was like, yeah. It was a quick reminder. I said, "I can't get hit with nothing when I get in this ring. I'm not getting hit with nothing." Yeah. And so, thing is, like, I just don't think Adrian really probably seen the shot, and that's all it takes when you don't really see coming, the one you don't anticipate.
That's the one that puts you out.
Don't put you out, man. You know what I'm saying? Guaranteed. So I'm pretty sure that's what happened. It didn't look like much either. Yeah. But you see how the response was. Yeah. And so
you use 14 ounces, right?
No. 12? No. We fighting 10s.
10s. When we sparred, what'd you use?
We use 16s.
You use 16s on me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I felt that shit for like a week. Like in the face with one shot that I leaned into. It was that right hand where I leaned into it, and you even said it right after. You leaned into that one. I felt that shit for a week. My tooth was like numb. I was like, yeah, these gloves ain't. I was hoping you were gonna say those 12s or 10s. No, those 16. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, I got a long way to go. I know that. Yeah. But training is so much fun. Like I was training this week. I hadn't been at the gym this week because my finger. Like,
right. I remember telling me.
I don't know what happened. I think when I was sparring with Jamil, I hit his elbow or something because this whole finger right here is just.
Was just
when I clench my fist right now, it hurts. And when I punch, it hurts. So I've just been at LA Fitness doing like some of the drills you taught me and stuff like that.
Right.
And I met this dude there actually named Wilson that trains at Jay Prince Gym. You know him? He's like this skinny, older, like black guy who's like 40 years old. He always wears a bandana.
I probably know if I see him.
He knows Martel. He told me like he knows Martel because Martel's been Jay Prince Gym and stuff.
Yeah, I probably know if I see him.
But he's always there. So we're working at LA sometimes. Like this week, since I didn't want to go too crazy, because I knew if I came and trained with you, I was gonna be punching hard, and this would never heal. So I was like, all right, let me like relax, take a week, and just train myself. You know, do some stuff around here.
Right.
But bro, the camaraderie at the gym is so fun. Like when we go there, I have so much fun. Like even Darnell said it one day. Like whatever we had the noodles, and remember that day when I had been doing sit-ups and Martel was hitting me with the noodle.
Oh yeah.
And then I took the noodle and I was about to hit him, and Darnell was like, "You already had your turn." I was like, damn. Like I walked into that one, and then like right after that, Darnell was like,
"The viewers are gonna get that one."
Yeah,
that
they're not
was
gonna get
funny,
that.
dog.
And Darnell was like, "Man, I love coming to the gym. We always have a good time."
It's so funny, dog. Man, that's why that is my like. That's my social hours, man.
Yeah.
That's why I don't even need to go out. I'm a very homebody and stuff, but I spend a lot of my social time hang with it because I love everybody in the gym.
Yeah.
You know, so I spend all my time with them and I enjoy it. I was mad. I was with them yesterday, and I didn't see them the day before that, and apparently that was the best day at the gym.
Yeah.
They was acting a fool apparently. Like, they was just laughing, having a great time.
It's like every day.
Yeah, and there were so many stories they kept talking about that I was just sitting there and I missed out on.
Man,
So I'm like,
bro.
I'm like, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get the scoop afterwards on what happened at the gym, whatever. But I love it. They're so funny, man. It was my peoples though.
Yeah. Bro, it's always a good time over there. Martel's so funny.
That dude. I'm telling you,
that's exactly the guy at the gym at LA, Wilson. When I said, "You know Martel," and he was like, "No," and I was like, "The funny guy." He's like, "Oh yeah,
guarantee, bro, guarantee."
Boom, click.
Thing with Martel's got to be comfortable though.
Yeah,
he'll get very shy if he's uncomfortable around people he don't really like, kind of like mess with like that.
Yeah.
But when he comfortable, that dude open up and is one of the funniest dudes I've ever met, bro.
You guys ever spar? Like you guys get in the ring and work?
Yeah.
How is that? Do you have to? Because I mean, you are a lot heavier than him, so do you have to like, kind of like pull punches at all?
Heck no, man.
You have to go hard.
No,
he's fast.
No, I'm punching that dude.
Yeah, he's fast as shit.
I'm punching that dude.
Yeah.
Martel good. Martel and even for his size, he's small, but he can still crack though. Like, he can still crack. He fights at 122, 126.
Yeah.
He can still punch. But I like working with him because he is extremely talented. I don't know if you ever seen him. He can literally mimic anybody, bro. Like you name a person and you mimic their style. I don't know. It's the most impressive ability I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I like Martel. You can mimic everybody. You probably don't even know your own style though.
Yeah.
Like you can copy everybody else. He's like Kakashi. I'm gonna start calling him Kakashi, bro.
Copy ninja.
Copy
yes,
ninja.
Sir.
I'm gonna start calling him Kakashi.
That's good skill because that's a great training partner. If
Bro.
he can mimic styles, then when you have a fight coming up, he just turns it on.
I learned a lot from him. Obviously, he's small though, but on some real stuff though. Like anytime we do work, it is just working. So I'm not really like going like hard on him. He's not doing the same either, you know, because just the size difference too big. But it's always great working with him though, because like I said, he is sharp, fast, elusive, quick.
When do you go hard? Do you have, because everyone has to have hard sparring, like at least a couple times, you know. So when do you go hard with like people you don't really know, like I don't know you, so I'm gonna beat your ass. Like, all right, let's get in here and work.
I'm pretty chill because as far as sparring goes, really a lot of times I'm really trying to work on certain things, you know. But yeah, there is an occasion where I gotta have hard days. When I'm getting ready for fights, it's like, all right, it's time to actually
turned on. Yeah.
If I don't have a fight coming up, then there's no need to really have really hard sparring, in my opinion. I say hard sparring, it's still competitive sparring, but not like
kill each other.
Not like we actually practically fighting. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm still trying to limit myself and be like, okay, I really need to focus on this, or I really need to focus on this. So that's more what my sparring be until I actually have like a date. Then I'm like, okay, now I gotta lock in and I gotta actually like channel like I'm actually in a fight for real.
What's the
you
deal
know?
with that? I thought you were looking for something for this month, right?
Yeah.
January.
Yeah.
We were talking about January since your last fight. You were like, I think I'm gonna have something in January.
I know. It's just been a lot of stuff kind of going on behind the scenes, right? That kind of out of my control, you know? And so only thing I can do is just stay ready for when the moment comes. But you know what's funny? It's something else we were talking about at the gym. We were talking about John was going on about one of his homies or something, and that he had his working for this agency, doing this media, shooting content or whatever. Long story short, he's going about he in his contract he has like a non-compete clause.
Yeah.
Basically saying he can't like shoot for other people or whatever without like agency approval, right? Same thing, just like a personal trainer at a gym. They can't go train other clients unless it's at the gym or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing all this. We're just talking about it. And I'm like, that is so stupid. Who has signed a contract like that? I'm like, they're in complete control of all of your money. You know what I mean? All the money that you can make, they're in control of it. That is your skill. That is your trade. That is your job. Right? And this person is in control of, okay, we can work for this. Okay, I need you to do this project. I need you to do this project.
Yeah,
and that's the only money. That's the only money you can make. I mean, you can't freelance, nothing like that. And as I'm saying, I'm like, yo, that is stupid. You know, I start realizing. I'm
in that contract.
I'm in the exact same contract. I'm in the exact same contract.
Yeah.
And it threw me off. I was like, yo, what?
Yeah.
And there's a whole realization here. I said, I'm in the exact same thing. I can't really do nothing.
How much can lawyers change too? Because I worked for corporate, right? So I was in a manufacturing company and I worked in procurement. So I dealt with contracts a lot. And so in that setting, it's a lot easier to negotiate because it's two companies who are, you know, almost the same size. So our lawyers would redline stuff, send stuff back. They would come back with changes and we would have to go back and forth for like a week or something like that. But I feel like when you're going against like a Top Rank or a Showtime, you can't really make no red lines. They're gonna laugh at your red lines. But
the big thing, as far as contracts go, everything is about leverage, right? You gotta have leverage. If you don't have no leverage, then what? Then you're kind of just like, okay, I'll take whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You really don't have nothing to really fight back against. And so then for like a lot of companies or stuff you're saying like that, that are like a lot bigger. That are like a lot bigger than a person or individual or entity. There's nothing much you can really do because like I really need you more than I need that company more than that company needs me.
Yeah.
Right. And when you're in a situation like that, you really can't do nothing but just take what you can get. It's hard to really negotiate anything because you have no leg to stand on. It's like, no.
Yeah.
You want no.
That's why you kind of have to, like you said, marketing goes back to marketing. You have to have.
That's the leverage right there for a lot.
You got to build yourself up. They got to sell yourself to them. Be like, you need me more than I need you.
Right.
Whoever wins the negotiation is always the one that doesn't need the other person as much as they need them.
And that's the big thing. Mayweather realizes like, wait, I don't need a promoter. I don't need y'all. Like people don't come to see me anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's how he then started his own promotion company. Can go straight to the network and negotiate and do deals with them because they're like, yo, the network's like, yeah, we want Mayweather fight. We know you bring in this many views, many viewers, right? And that's where the money comes in at. And then so at that point, when he realized, like, I know my worth, I don't need y'all. Yeah, I can get rid of y'all. I can do this job myself, or whatever, right? But it takes a long time to get in a position like that where you can actually do that, right?
He had to go through Pretty Boy first, then he turned to Money Team, and then at that point, he was like, I think $1 billion asset to any company that he worked with, like easily, because he was generating like hundreds of millions of dollars like every fight. Like,
every fight.
Him, like not even he didn't need the B side, just him being there generated that much.
And then, you know, this is crazy. Something I'm really, really interested in. What I want to know, I actually want to see documents, paper, but I'm very curious about the cash flow on. Let me just say, just a fight in general. You know what I mean? There's a lot of times when you think of an event and you hear, say, the Mayweather Pacquiao, I don't know, whatever Mayweather fight, you hear that he's making $100 million and his opponent makes this much, right? But then that's most of the time we hear, okay, well, they must be making, the company must be making this much. But there's so much other funds that go into throwing an event, right? So one, getting a venue, then you think about all the crew that works there, the security that works there, the camera crews that work there, the people who are just taking people to go sit down in their seats. the concessions. Then you think about all those like expenses, even food or water, right? There's so many expenses that go to an event like that. Then I'm like, okay, then what is bringing all the money in?
Yeah.
You know, you think about the network usually says, okay, for this fight, we'll pay this much. We'll give you, this is your budget or whatever. We'll give you this much. And I think they have to work from that. The what other money's coming in? Maybe the ring sponsorships, right? They're only getting money through advertisements, right? So I'm really curious on what all that looks like, on how these promotions and stuff really make money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you got to pay so many people, you're paying Mayweather $100 million to fight, and then you got the co-main event where you still got to pay
at least a couple million. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where they're still getting paid a lot of money. Then there's like 10 people on the card where all these people are getting paid. I don't know. Anyway, I kind of dragged on about that, but I'm really curious on the cash flow of these businesses, on how they really make money. I really want to see it, because I feel like that would also help me understand the business a lot more, and why they think what they do, how they really operate, right?
Yeah. You got to remember the ad revenue, because these networks are also letting companies put ads into their like the program. So like as the shooting's going, you get like advertisement commercials. They're all getting paid for that too.
They're getting paid. That's why I know where the network's getting paid at. Where the network's like, that's why if they're Mayweather fight and they're like, okay, we know you're bringing in this many people to tune into the fight, right? Just like the Super Bowl, one of the highest like rated event in the world. Not the world, I don't know. Maybe the World Cup. Maybe World Cup is maybe. Yeah. But anyways, where everybody was tuning into the commercials because they knew the commercials had to be good, because they had to pay a lot of money to get a slot for the Super Bowl, because it costs so much. I think they were paying like millions of dollars for like a 30-second commercial or something, whatever the numbers are. But yeah, and I knew that's how the networks made their money, right? And I'm pretty sure the network, like I said, they're the ones funding really the whole event.
Yeah, because they pay the promotion. They'll pay like PBC for the actual feature, but then they get paid on the back end from the companies who are doing commercials and stuff like that. I think it's like almost like a handshake. Like the network gets the money from them, and then from the viewers, because they're the ones generating the revenue from their platform, whatever they're streaming on. Right. And then they take that and pay like PBC or Top Rank, and then they distribute it to the. Or they also probably pay the I think PBC probably pays the workers and stuff, like you were saying. Like I
feel like they would have to.
Yeah, they're probably working straight up to them.
Right. Well, somebody has to pay them, right? But you figure about all those other people that's got to get paid, and
everyone's got to eat, man. Yeah,
everybody's got to
works
eat
for free.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But what you were saying, back to what you just said about. Say it again.
He said either I'm paying all the bills, or I'm faithful, but I'm not doing both.
Bro, that has been such a big topic of discussion ever since Tate blew up. Like that's all people talk about now is like men and women dynamics, and like what's okay, what's not okay.
You know, and that's actually a leading topic in a lot of podcasts now. Bro, and you want to know why? You want to know why? Is because if somebody would start a boxing podcast, right? You are limiting yourself only to boxing viewers, right? Very small population of the world, right? But when you talk about relationships, that is the entire population. Everybody, it's the most relatable thing, because everybody deals with relationship problems. The most important thing really in the world to a lot of people. Or money. Money is another big one, another topic people talk about a lot in podcasts, but it's a lot of the most debatable stuff is relationships, on how people view it. If people are big on gender roles, or what would they do in this situation, you know? So, it has been the biggest topic of debate.
Everywhere. I go on like Instagram and stuff. All I see is like clips from Fresh and Fit, or clips from Sneeko, or clips from Tate. Like all and I don't even look up the stuff. It just pops up, bro. It's like, this is what everyone's watching, so you need to watch this too. I'm like, no, I don't. Like,
no, I don't.
UFC on my shit. Put something I care about on here. Yeah. But it is interesting. I like hearing those discussions. Like, do you ever watch them? Or like,
yeah, I actually do. But same reason for you. Like, I don't actually like go on YouTube and watch their like podcasts or anything like that. But I'm on TikTok and I see them all the time. Yeah. And then, but sometimes we're always interested in other people's opinion about certain topics. So. I do watch them. I tune in. Let me see what they talking about. Yeah. Let me see what they say on this topic or whatever it is. I'm like, you dumb. That's not.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? Like, I'm curious, because I've thought about that too. It's like when you get to a certain level as a man, right? The process for us to get there took a while. Like, say you become a number one boxer in the world, you're gonna have to work your ass off to get there. You're already working your ass off,
right?
To get there, you had to put in blood, sweat, and tears. You're the man now. You're the man. You got it. You got it all. You ain't got to worry about nothing. You got money. You got things. You don't even care about the things. You can go wherever the hell you want. You got your DMs flooded with baddies trying to get at you. You have your girl. Your girl, she's, she's wonderful. She has great qualities. She's a beautiful woman. But you have all these baddies now that, you can do whatever the hell you want with. There's no commitment required. You can have fun with them. You don't have to.
Right.
You're going to take advantage of that opportunity, and you're going to expect your girl to be okay with it? Or are you going to be like, you know what, I got my girl, out of respect for her or what she wants from me. Not necessarily, you don't have to necessarily agree with what she wants, but out of what she wants, like, I want you to only, fuck me. You going to stick with that? Or you're going to be like, look, I work my ass off to get here. Like, I'm in the candy store now.
Right. If that's the case, then I just wouldn't be in a relationship.
Yeah.
So
facts.
that's my take on it. I just wouldn't be in a relationship if I wanted to just fuck all these other people or whatever, right? There's not much in a life where if I'm making big money like that, then if I don't have somebody I'm already rocking with, and I can really trust really anybody. You know what I'm saying? Where if I'm making money like that, you tell me all these baddies, I can do whatever. Yeah, I eventually want to be committed to somebody at some point. I'm not 100%. Trying to die alone, right? You need somebody you want to rock with, somebody to build with. So an ideal situation would be a girl that'd be cool with that, but that's not really like likely. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be a realistic kind of dude.
Yeah.
So realistically, ideally, if that was happening, that'd be great, right? But I doubt it, right? Yeah. And so respect is big for me, so I would have to have respect for my chick, even if I was the breadwinner. Even how I grew up, I would always think of a man is to be the provider, protector, right?
Yep.
And so I do feel like that is my role, right? And so she don't want me fucking these baddies or whatever, or if we can't fuck them together, you know what I'm saying? But So to answer your question, if the realistic situation, if she wasn't with it, right, then no. Yeah.
That's literally the perspective that I agree with, that no one talks about. Everyone's arguing about whether they should allow it or not. The answer is just be single. Like, if that's what you want,
just be single.
If you want to take advantage of all, the candy that's being thrown at you, then be single. And, that way you don't have to cross on anyone's toes. You don't have to step on anyone's toes, go behind people's back.
Bro, ain't how hard it is to go behind people's back. Sometimes being single is just like cool because you're free to do whatever. You don't have to, some other respect, you don't have to have to consider somebody else's feelings, somebody else's thoughts, somebody else's emotions.
100%.
You really can just do what you want and not have to answer to nobody, right?
We talked about this like very early on when we met at the gym. Because we both had a similar relationship, like with a female in our life, and what you said is like exactly how it should be. Is like when you're in a relationship, you have to consider their feelings. That's important, and it's even if you don't want to, even if you want to be a hard motherfucker, the more time you spend with them, the more inevitable it is that you start caring about their feelings.
Yeah,
you start valuing them.
The feelings.
And me, I like doing that, so I do that naturally. Like, if I like you enough to spend time with you a lot, I'm going to value your feelings. But then when you have other desires that come up, that's the confliction right there. It's like, I have to care about your feelings, and I want to, and I care about your well-being. But like, if my mindset's changed, or my opinion has changed, or what I want have changed, like, I don't want to put you in that situation, so I'm gonna have to step back.
Yeah.
And they never like that, but I gotta step back.
That's what's best, man. Like, and another problem, like a lot of their problem is they sell women on dreams, bro.
Manipulation, bro.
They sell women on dreams, dog. And I think that's some of the most fucked up shit. Like, I don't think people understand, like, yo, just be real, be honest with these people. And you won't have any of these problems. You know how hard it is to sell a dream? Then you got to keep living up to that dream that you've been selling, right? Even though it's not really maybe what you want. Yeah. It's very hard to keep this lie going. Yeah. Just be real from the get-go. A lot of chicks is dope and they understand it. You'd
be surprised how many girls will be receptive to honesty.
They understand it. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes being honest is hard. And biggest advice I say is be honest from the get-go, right? Because once the image is already painted of you, right, and the girl thinks you a certain way, and you're trying to uphold the image. If you just be really blunt and honest from the get-go, then you find out if if she fuck with it or not. And
Mhm.
if she do, then boom, you good.
And if she
You know what I'm
don't,
saying?
there's so many other girls.
There's
there's
billions of them out. There's billions of them out there, right? And so the main thing what I'll say is, right, even with the being single thing, I think what a lot of people will have a problem with, where it's like, man, like I feel like I found the one, right?
But I
The
still
one-
want this.
Yeah, where it's like, dang, you know. J. Cole had this song that was so live, one of my favorite songs, called Runaway,
Yeah.
where he was like, basically he was talking about how he got with a chick and he's like, man, she the one, but he basically said, I'm maybe too young to settle down,
Mhm.
you know, still wants to explore, find himself, whatever, kind of do what he wants. But it's like, dang, do I really want to lose this?
her,
Do I really
yeah.
want to lose this, right? To just go chase these hoes or whatever,
Mhm.
right? So it's always that conflicting thing where it's like, all right, shit, you fuck around, you lose this one, and now you women in this today's age is trash, dog.
Bro, so
Trash.
hard to find.
We
a
were
good
talking about
woman,
this at the
bro.
gym yesterday. Women in today's age is trash.
Yeah, not all women. You know, let's put that out there, but the
Alright, yeah, not
majority.
all-
You know,
not
we ain't
all
gonna
women.
generalize, but
Yeah.
majority are. But it's not. The majority of men aren't good either. You know,
No.
the truth is we're all,
It's so
you know.
funny. I tell all women, I say, yeah, dudes ain't shit.
Yeah.
No, they not. Dudes ain't shit.
And there's
Right.
a lot of bitch-made men out there today, bro. Like,
You know, those
so many
are-
soft men. I think culture has taught men that it's. I don't know why, but recently there's more of a push that people they tell men like it's okay to be soft.
Mm.
I disagree. I don't think so. I think as a man, if you really want to be a man, you have to be hard. Like that's what makes you a man. That's what gives you the strength to be able to lead a woman in a relationship. If you're soft, you're gonna have two soft people in a relationship. Y'all gonna be running in circles. Like you
Right.
can't have two soft people. You have to have one who's a rock and one who's leaning on the rock. For the most part, I mean, there'll be bad days, but like, there's so many soft men out here today. Bro. It's crazy. Like,
Well, luckily, I ain't got to deal with no soft men.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't really care about the men that's going out in this world, right? And on how they are or whatever.
mhm.
You know, I will say one thing. There's stuff that I see on podcasts and men talking about. I'm like, oh, I can't stand those type of dudes.
Mhm.
But again, I don't got to deal with this. I really don't.
Yeah.
I really don't care, right? But the women today are most women today are so entitled, man.
Yeah,
You know,
because of
But they-
Instagram and stuff,
bro,
bro.
it's changed.
Gratification.
It's changed everything, bro. They're so entitled to just everything, bro. They really don't bring nothing to the table, though. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny, and I feel like this is for most guys that the only thing when I'm single, I'm at peace, dog. Like
Yeah.
I'm at peace. I'm living life. I'm chilling, whatever. All I ask, I'm pretty sure a lot of dudes, all they ask is for a woman to maintain their peace, dog.
Mhm.
A lot of times when I struggle with relationships, man, women just bring so much stress to it. I'm just like, I can't deal with that right now.
Yeah.
I got a lot of other stuff I'm trying to worry about. I got to focus on. I'm not trying to deal with none of that stress. And that's the problem with just women's day. Nothing to the table, though. My favorite stuff I do be seeing on like podcasts and those videos on TikTok was when they go to random women and ask, what do you provide? And
Oh my god, bro! The street.
I
interviews, bro.
love those. I just love to hear what women say.
And
dog.
then they say, "What do you rate yourself out of 1 to 10?" I'm a 10. It's like, okay, do you think you have room to improve on? Oh yeah, I can always improve.
yeah.
How you gonna improve from 10? You ask a man, like, I'm a 6. You know, like I got a lot to work on. A woman, she's like, so you do what do you do? Like, what's your goals in life? Oh, always to improve myself, to work on myself, you know, to become a better version of myself.
Yeah.
Well, you rate yourself 1 through 10. I'm an
Yeah.
11. You know, I'm just like it's not even their fault though. You know, it's what they're exposed to. I think we get exposed to so much bad shit on a regular basis, and we don't even realize it. So we don't filter it out of our lives. We just accept it. But the thing that people forget is that everything we intake through our eyes, through our ears, it's going to affect us in some form or fashion. That's why it's so important to me is like, what do you expose yourself to? Like, especially people like you and people like me who have dreams, who have goals. Those things will distract us. The negative things we put in our lives, whether we're getting it from social media or from people in our lives that shouldn't be in our lives, that shit is going to distract us from our dream. It's going to make it harder for us to get to our dream. It's going to negatively affect us in some way, even if it's minuscule at the time. It could have a long game where it affects us in the long term even bigger. And like going back to what we talked about just how powerful the mind is, that's so important, is what you expose your mind to me.
Sure.
It's like, literally, I've been thinking about that so much, because it's just like, I've looked at my life and I'm like, man, where have I really been spending my time? Where have I been putting my energy when I'm not working, or I'm not working towards something? When I have free time, what am I letting my mind be exposed to in the free time? And I feel like when people actually take a step back and look at it, not a lot of good stuff. There's not a lot of beneficial stuff for us, you know, like, and so I think women are very tuned into social media, because that's where they get a lot of their gratification. They get a lot of validation. Like, they live on social media, because women, I think most women, they like attention, which is normal. It's not a negative thing. It's just like it's something in their brain that, you know, they get dopamine when they're able to talk, or when they're able to, you know, receive attention from someone that they value attention from. It's beneficial for them. It makes their life better. It makes their mind better. It makes them feel better. So when you get that every day, all day, from people that they don't really care about, like, most of the guys in their DMs, they're not going to respond. They're not going to, like, give them any attention. But they look at it. They still read it. They still look at it. They still.
Good. That's what makes you wonder. I don't know what women were like before social media, right? Because I was a young kid at the time with social media. I think when I first made like a Facebook or something, I think I was in 6th grade or something like that, right? And so I don't know how like dating was, or how women interaction were, and how they thought. I'm really curious now on what it was like before social media really took off. You know what I'm saying? Because you're right. I think social media has changed everybody, though. A lot of unrealistic expectations. They see stuff, relationship goals, but people constantly will compare stuff, right? That it's not real, though. They'll compare themselves. That's another good example. I can compare everything to boxing somehow, right? But like, I can look at somebody who's in a similar position as me, see them on social media, and I'm like, man, look, they're doing so great. Like, everything's so good going with their career, this and that, da, da. Then I talk to them, and they tell me what's going on with their career, and they're like, bro, I'm in the worst deal ever. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, this whole time I'm thinking, like, how it's presented on social media is like, it's so great, but people really understand stuff people go through. Yeah. They see all the relationship goals, and it's like, oh man, they're so perfect. No, they're not, man. You really don't know what people are going through behind this phone, behind this images or whatever you see. And so it has messed up, I think, society big time, right? But, you know, it's crazy. Social media is supposed to be a good thing, right? Yeah. Social media was created to bring people closer. Now it's not brought us closer; it's brought us further apart, right?
Division is crazy,
right?
Yeah.
But that's all technology, all inventions. Sometimes are intended for good use, but eventually it can be turned into something bad. Yeah, they're talking about inventing something that's supposed to like make people live longer in life, right? Have a longer lifespan. No, only the rich are gonna be able to have it. Rich are gonna take advantage of it. Rich is gonna stay richer. Yeah, right. It's gonna create a bigger division. Oh, it's meant to be good. We're supposed to live longer, make us healthier. No, it's gonna get taken advantage of. It's gonna be used for something worse. Crazy different analogy. That's not what we're talking about. But all I guess what I'm saying is,
no, you're right. Everything has pros and cons, and everything has two paths. It can either be used for good, or used for evil. Like, that's it.
And social media has been good for a lot of people. You know, that is a market now for so many people who are making a lot of money as being influencers now, who are making a lot of money, and even just to keep up with people that I wouldn't be able to keep up with on a regular basis. Right? So I mean, it does have its pros, but ultimately, it's messed up a lot of people today, men and women, right? So I do want to go back to the topic on women and also say, you're right. I want to make this clear. There's a lot of good women out there.
We just haven't found y'all yet. We looking though. We looking, trust me.
There's a lot of good women out there, right? I think also too, for most guys, is like sometimes when most women come around, it's like I said earlier, we're just not ready for it. We're not in a position where it's like, damn, ready to take it. And I've been through that where I'm like, dang, had a good one, but I'm just not in a position where I'm not in a position where I'm ready to really provide for a woman like how I want to. You know, so I don't feel like if I'm not in a position like that, then I really shouldn't be seriously committed to a woman like that.
Yeah, so that's actually another question I had. So when you're not having fights, like you have to wait. I mean, when your last fight was in August, right? Yeah, so you haven't fought in like 4 months.
Yeah, 5, almost
Almost
going
5
on
months.
6.
So when you're not fighting, like, do you have another job that you do to work, or you strictly just?
No, I'm full time in boxing. This is literally all I do.
You have sponsorships and stuff that kind of give you money to like
actually,
help. And...
actually, I don't. Right. So my first management deal that I had, we were talking about that in the beginning, and they was like, "Oh, we're not gonna try to go for any local sponsors." And I said, "Oh, okay, sounds good, right?" And so I never actually really tried getting sponsorships.
Yeah.
So that's really on me. So to answer your question, no, I don't have any sponsorships right now.
So the money for the fights carry you over like until the next one for the most part?
Well, it's kind of, so I've been, I'm very cheap, bro.
Yeah.
I don't go out, right? You think of a lot of people our age, most of the money is spent going out, right?
Yeah.
Every weekend, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. Alcohol, drinks, food. I'm very cheap, very minimal too.
Yeah.
I don't really need much. I don't go out buying clothes. I don't go out buying jewelry. You know what I'm saying? Whatever people spend. Food is my biggest weakness, though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hell yes.
But I've saved up a lot of money, so I'm kind of it's holding me off now until I can get back active fighting again.
So you think that's just you? Like, some people do that, when they're in a stage, when they're building towards something. Other people, that's just them, like they don't need a lot to be happy. Like, you think even when you make millions of dollars through your boxing career, you're still gonna be like, I don't need to do all this stuff, like, because that could just be you, or that could just be you in this stage in life, You
know what I'll answer that? No idea.
Yeah.
Right? Because I haven't made millions yet, right? So who knows what people do? Lottery ticket, this movie, and what they said in the movie was money don't change people, it enhances people, right? And I think that is a true line. People are gonna do what they do already, just on a much grander, larger scale, right? My big thing as far as money goes, though, like, I don't really care about money like that. Like, it doesn't really do that. As long as I have enough to really live, be comfortable or whatever, I'm cool with that. A lot of money I do make, I'm big on really just finding ways of giving it out to other people that really do need it. So I do think most of my money would end up going to that, right? Just because I just really don't care about it. If somebody was to ask me for some money, as long as if I got it, I'll give it to them.
Yeah.
If I'm kind of struggling myself, I got it.
Yeah.
But I don't ever expect nobody to pay me back either, because that's just naive and foolish.
Yeah.
Nobody ever pays anybody back. Rarely. It'd be dumb to expect it, because if I expect it, it means hey, look, I need it.
Yeah, makes you look desperate. Yeah.
Look, I need that. Remember I let you borrow that?
Yeah.
No, I can't think like that, because most times you're not gonna get it back. So if I give money out, I'm not expecting it in return. Yeah. That's just like, here you go. Yeah, do whatever it is that you need it for or whatnot.
That's awesome, bro. Like, that's rare. That's a rare quality. Most people take money and keep it as long as they can, or try and build it up. And I mean, you don't see a lot of people who are generous anymore. People are kind of focused on I like what I need to do. How do I get more money so I can get the things I want? I'm sure I'm guilty of this too. I have thoughts where where I make plans to generate wealth because of, selfish goals or things I want to do. But that's rare, man. That's awesome that you have that kind of quality, and you should keep that. Like, don't lose that, man. Don't ever get jaded where you start drifting away from that, because that's a really rare quality and a good quality to have.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's my dad, how my family was. Like, I don't know. I just don't value money the same as like other people. As long as I can live, I'm good with that. So I'm fine being a little minimalist. Really don't need much. But again, who knows? I'm not a millionaire yet. So I don't know how I'd be when I actually have like money like that, on what I would do with it, how I would spend it. Yeah. Whatever. I do see myself spending stuff on food though. Like, I just
get a private chef.
That's my problem. You know what I'm saying? I just can't help it. But
what did your parents do?
Well, my pops was in the military. My mom worked at a bank and stuff. So he out the military now though, and so he kind of worked doing transportation stuff. My mom still work at the bank.
That's awesome, bro. Tell him thank you for his service.
I'll make sure I let him know. I gotta give him a call later on today anyway. Yeah. So
how long was he in there? Was he
It was 23.
Oh wow,
23 years. Yeah.
Did he transition to like a different department within the military? Because like some people do tours and then they go into like cybersecurity or something. Yeah,
he at one point, so we actually didn't move around a lot. Like a lot of people, you think of military brats, we move around. Well, that wasn't necessarily me. I was like the baby of the family, right? So by the time when I was kind of coming around, I was born in El Paso. We got stationed in Germany for a little while. Then we ended up moving to Texas. We moved to Fort Hood in Killeen.
Mm-hmm.
I was there from 2000 all the way to 2016. So
Yeah.
but at that point in time, my brother was in high school. My dad, they was stationed him to Alaska,
Mm-hmm.
and my brother was playing football. He didn't want him to pick up and leave or whatever. So he ended up joining the National Guard and did recruiting for a while. Worked for the IG. So he did a lot of different stuff within the military and stuff. But as far as what I know, anytime he talked about his job, I had no idea what he was talking about. You know, military, they be using like codes and stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
Bravo 6.
yeah. I don't know what they be talking about. I'm like, okay, all right, pops.
Yeah.
Whatever, yeah. But and then he served. He went a couple of times. Then Desert Storm, and then when I was in 6th grade, he went back to Iraq.
Oh wow, so he was actually deployed.
Yeah, he deployed a couple of times.
Yeah.
So, that was a really big one that I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Like vividly when he deployed for Iraq.
Yeah. So how was that? Like, I feel like my mom was in the military, but she's not my dad. So my dad's kind of the one who kind of set the rules in the house.
Right.
Was he strict? Was he like,
Yeah.
very disciplined growing up? Like,
my dad, let me tell you about this dude. My dad, first off, my dad is the GOAT. I'm gonna say that first, right? My mom, the GOAT-er. I love them both. Like, I was really blessed with both of them, yeah. But so I remember when my dad got deployed, and he was the discipline factor in the house. I was terrified of this dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember I was acting up, and one phone call, not make this up, one phone call is all it took, and I was acting right. Like, I was so scared of this dude. I'm thinking you're gonna like fly back home or something like that. Yeah.
Where my belt at?
Yeah, my mom is the sweetest woman ever, and
so she never spanked? Mom never spanked?
I don't feel like I don't think she ever really whooped me like that. I was in 6th grade, so I wasn't really getting whoopings like that.
Yeah.
I was kind of
a good kid.
Yeah, I was kind of a little too old for that at that point in time too. But I can't remember if she whooped me. My dad whooped me for sure though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my dad whooped me for sure.
Yeah.
And but yeah, one phone call all it took. My dad can just look at me and I'll be like.
To this day, he's like, I don't want no problems, man.
I really don't, dog. I can fight it. I don't want no problems with my dad. I respect him way too much. He's done way too much for me, for my brothers.
Yeah.
My sisters, like, they ever disrespected me. So I respect him way too much. He may be wrong. He's wrong a lot of times.
He's
right?
your dad.
He won't admit that he's wrong. But I love that dude. Like, that dude has done so much for us.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite story about my dad, like, he would go above and beyond. Like, he was very cheap too.
Yeah.
Like, he tell my mom all the time, like, man, sit down somewhere. You always spending money. You know what I'm saying? But my dad is the quickest one to spend some money for us, like in regards to career, sports, or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or quickest one to do anything to help further our career. Like, no matter the cost, if we like, yo, I want to go to a camp for this, quick. All right, boom, boom, boom.
That's awesome.
And we go,
How did he react when you told him, like, I want to be a boxer? Like, I'm going to go full time for
Man, I think he thought I was joking, bro. Like, he was actually a boxing fan or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And he thought it was probably like a joke. I don't think he really took it too serious. Like, okay, whatever. And then obviously, he's seen my journey all the way through, and since he's seen all the good and the bad.
Yeah.
I remember vividly, dog. Man, this is one time I went to go to this one place to go spar with this guy. I never sparred with this guy before.
Yeah.
This was one of my first year boxing or whatever.
This was here in Houston, or
no, this is back in Killeen, back when I was still living with them. And we went to Georgetown to go spar. And mind you, when we went in there, fully Mexican, bro. They didn't speak no English in there. So I don't know what's going on. My coach at the time spoke Spanish, whatever. So they talking. He comes up and says, okay, yeah. I think I had one amateur fight at the time. He was like, okay, yeah, he's got 5 fights or whatever. Yeah. Mind you, at this point in time, I started off and I was like kind of good. Yeah. Not good. Like, I look back at him and boy, he was trash. But from where I was at, like, I was doing really good with everybody that I was fighting with. Yeah. And so I haven't really got whooped yet like that. Nobody ever really put their hands on me like that. Yeah. And so he got 5 fights. Oh, okay. Right. Find out he had like 5 pro fights. He's like some
Damn.
Mexican national champ, whatever like that. And mind you, at this point in time, I didn't really believe in like pro fighters being that good. I found out pretty early because I sparred with a pro early and I whooped him. And I was like, wait, he's a pro?
Yeah.
Find out pro and amateur really doesn't mean much, whatever, right? But this dude was cold, right?
Yeah.
When I tell you, he drugged me all around his ring, man, for 5 rounds. After like the second round, I look at my coach like, yo,
Get me out of here.
yo, hey, help me, dog. Like, I'm over here getting drugged,
Yeah.
right? Man, this in front of my dad, dog.
Damn.
My dad, hey, I'm just getting whooped,
Mhm.
right? When I tell you this is the most silent car ride home, I was so embarrassed. Now that I'm just kind of, not even just embarrassed, like I'm like, my first time getting whooped like that, right?
Oh yeah, that'll affect you.
I remember I went home, didn't even go in the shower, went straight to my room, right? Closed the door, and pitch black darkness. I laid on the carpet on the floor, looking at the ceiling, whatever. But I ain't gonna lie, that was a moment that changed me for sure, though.
Yeah.
At that moment, I was sitting, I was like kind of just like dark and depressed, moody and all that. And I was like, nah, fuck that. Because I made a decision, this is what I wanted to do. And fuck that.
Yeah.
And I went back, got my ass whooped again. I went back and got whooped again and again and again and again and again and again. And I think that's the moment that really kind of changed me because, like, man, everybody's favorite fighter's been whooped before, right? But that was the moment really where I'm like, nah, like I want this too bad, you know? And that, I think through that whole transition made me so much better, bro. I improved so much, right? Working with that guy. I never got to actually whoop him, man, to this day, right?
You're like calling him now. You're like, where you at?
I don't think he's like boxing anymore or whatever, but.
Come out of retirement, come to Houston.
Right. But, so I never got my really get back. He whooped me from the day that I met him all the way till he was done.
But I know you're probably thankful to him for like every time,
bro. He knocks, that dude punched so hard, he knocked some sense in me. And he was a smaller guy too. That's what threw me off.
Yeah.
Like the dude fought at like 154. I was fighting at 78.
Yeah.
At the time, whatever. That dude was punching my brains around, guy. I was like, yo. I think that thing really kind of changed I said, it changed my life for sure. Because at that time, I'm like just kind of like, that humbled me for real. I think I was already a humble dude as it was, but that's like boxing such a humbling sport. And through that experience though, like it really like, I was like, because I was kind of just like, yo, I'm that guy. Like I was already whooping everybody in the gym, whatever like that. Got in there with him, and I was like, yo, I'm really not it. You know, and you find out that pretty quickly, you know. So that's the important thing about just going around getting experience. You'll find out like, yo, there's some really talented people out here. And so it's always just room to keep.
Have you ever seen that break someone though? Because that, what happened to you is like the perfect recipe, right? Like you're supposed to go through hardship, come out on the other side, become stronger for it. Like a Super Saiyan, you know, like Saiyans get in the world, come back stronger. You know what I'm saying? But some people, have you seen it break them where they become the nail one day and then they never come back?
All the time, dog. Not even if they become the man. Sometimes even when people are starting, they're a little nervous about it. They go up to time like, I'm done. Bad idea, and they out, right? Or you see a lot of people. So that's why I think about Ryan Garcia so bad, right? Him and this Tank fight happens. I'm really curious. If Tank was to just knock this dude out, right? Would he be able to come back? How would his ego be? Would he be able to bounce back? I'm really curious on how that would look, you know? He fought Luke Campbell. He got dropped, whatever, but got back, impressive, won the fight. Great. Very noble story, looked great. But how does it look when he's really been, like, defeated?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm really curious on to see that. But yeah, I've seen him break some people. Sometimes, you know, they talk about all the time. Somebody's getting knocked out, like they may not be able to recover from this. You know, because it do something to people mentally where their confidence drop. And I can't preach enough how important somebody's confidence is in life, not even just in boxing.
Yeah.
In life, man.
It goes back to what you said. Like people can convince people of some bullshit if they're confident in it.
Now imagine people can convince themselves, bro. People convince themselves. That's the whole self-hypnosis, right? And people convince themselves they can do anything, dog.
Yeah.
Anything. But the problem is that people have a lot of doubts that cloud their mind, their judgment, right? You know, and sometimes it's hard to break free of that.
And they have the people in their lives telling them the shit they don't need to hear, or that like the jealous people or the people that want to be doing what they're doing, they're always gonna come in your ear with some bullshit and say some negative stuff or try and deter you from doing it.
Well, it actually honestly doesn't matter because you can have people that are great people alongside you telling you can be this, you can be great, you can do this. But if you don't actually know it yourself, it does not matter. Perfect example, I'm gonna use, you got the Dragon Balls here, you got my dog Goku here. Perfect example, I'm gonna use this Gohan, right? Gohan, all this hidden potential. Goku seen it. My boy was like, yo, like, I can't beat Cell. You're the one that's gonna beat Cell, right? Yeah. Gohan's like, what?
The hell
I
are you
can't,
talking
yeah,
about?
I can't, no, like, I can't beat Cell. And he's like, I'm telling you, I know it. I seen it, right? And that's what it's like, even for a lot of people. I've had that moment, even for me, where I had people telling me, oh, you so talented, you so good. And I'm like, I'm not that good. Like, I'm decent, I'm not that good, right? But until you actually had that moment, that realization, like, yo, like, I really am, then you're not gonna really fill up to your full potential. Yeah, you know, and that's the thing about a lot of people have. I think we all have a destructive mind where you're clouded by doubt and that destructs you. You know what I'm saying? People have imposter syndrome all the time, where they go into a room and feel like they don't deserve to be there, that they don't belong, they're not smart enough, they're not strong enough, they're not that, whatever the case is and whatever the situation is. And that's just a mental block that a lot of people gotta really get over. But it all comes within. No matter even sometimes what you have around you, until you actually know it yourself. But the more times you hear it, right, you can convince yourself of anything. Right? You hear it enough times, it just becomes law. It becomes truth. Yeah. But
very powerful. Yeah, very powerful stuff. I mean, you see it with the people that are across our feed. I mean, the ones that are blowing up now, like the Tates of the world, they got there by doing exactly that. Right. They said it, and then they made it happen. Conor McGregor said everything he was going to do before he did it, and it happened. Like, he said it. He's like, I'm going to be the 2-weight world champion. Before he was even in the UFC, he's like, I'm going to be the 2-weight world champion of the UFC. Made it over there, pulled it off. Before he was nobody. Like, he wasn't anyone at that time, but in his mind, he was.
And I'm telling you, that mindset does not happen overnight. Like, I'm not just going to say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, right? No, when
knock
I first
out Beterbiev in the first round.
I'm gonna knock out Beterbiev. And when I first say it, I'm like, I said it out loud, I'm gonna knock Beterbiev in the first round. Then in my head, my subconscious, I'm like, yeah, but you haven't been trained. Yeah, but you don't have the experience. Yeah, but you don't have this.
Your inner bitch, that's what it is.
Yeah. So first time you say it, it's like that, right? And you keep saying enough. I'm gonna knock out Beterbiev. Then it's just slowly, say a couple of times, whatever. Keep saying it. Then now all the doubts is gone. Like, it's now you're fully convinced. Like, no, I'm gonna knock him out in the first round.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight tonight? Who you got?
I got Beterbiev. Yeah. I think he's so gonna overwhelm Yard for sure.
Yeah. Yard looks big, man. He looks so like. And that's another thing I wanted to ask you, because I saw you against, like, standing next to Yardo on Instagram. And y'all look like the same size, but on TV they look like.
I was literally just finna say
they
that.
Look like huge.
I
don't understand it.
I was in New York. I never talked to him or nothing like that, but he was, because it was the Beterbiev fight and he was there or whatever. And so I seen him in person. I was like, oh, dude, because I thought the same thing. Like, that dude looks huge. Yeah. Oh, he's not that big in person like I thought he was.
They got a good cameraman.
There's a lot of people that are like that. That had me thinking. I'm like, yo, I wonder how big I'm look on TV. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see when I'm on TV how big I look.
Because I was thinking about it. Like, yesterday I was like, so, Darius is light heavyweight, so he could potentially fight Beterbiev and, Yard and all these guys. They look huge, bro. Yeah. I'm like, I've seen Darius. Like, me and him are not.
What you trying to say, man?
You long, bro. You're a long fighter, bro. But seriously, that was eye opening, because I thought the same thing about Yardo. I was like, Yardo's huge too. He looked like Beterbiev's size. And then I saw you next to him. I was like, oh, they're like the same size.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't think Beterbiev looked necessarily that big either, right? Now, again, I seen him when it was like day of weigh-ins or whatever, right? Yeah. But when I'm like passing by, I'm looking at him, sizing him up, I'm like, not that big as I thought. I thought he was. Yard the same thing. Yard's a lot shorter. He is like still muscular and kind of stocky, but like I was like, oh, they're not that.
Yeah. He's a destroyer though, bro. His chin is his best weapon, I think. Because he gets hit a lot.
Like, Beterbiev?
Yeah, Beterbiev.
I think he's actually been dropped before. I can't remember who dropped him though.
Yeah.
But no, dude is a tank.
He gets hit so hard.
Dude is a tank.
And just walks through it, but then his punches don't look like he's winding up a lot, but the impact is ridiculous.
I think that's what's impressive too. Like I remember, I thought the same thing about Triple G.
Mm-hmm.
When I used to watch Triple G fight was, yo, it don't look like he's punching that hard.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna lie to you, but how these dudes is reacting is like, yo,
Their
this
face
dude,
starts changing.
yeah, I'm like, yo,
Bumps
this
start
dude.
appearing. I'm like, where'd that come from?
So I think the same thing about Better Biev, and it's just those Russians, man. Like, I don't know what
All
it
of
is.
them, dude. What's in the water over there, bro?
That's what I-
Khabib,
that's what-
Islam, like.
So I need to figure out, man.
I don't know.
They need to import some of that over here.
So I heard a rumor, like I've seen this on
I like
the
rumors.
interwebs of
Yeah.
the internet, that they do steroids from a young age, and that's how they get past. Like that's how they build the strength, because they all are so strong. That's the common theme. Boxers and
Yeah.
MMA fighters, they talk about Russians is their strength. Like it's not necessarily their size or their power; it's the strength that they kind of have within them. So I heard that they like filter it into their like diet growing up in like amounts to where it builds that muscle and strength, but then they don't have to consistently do it like when they get older. Now it's just part of their genome, part of their like who they are as they've gotten older.
A funny theory, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, any truth to it? What you think?
I have no idea. Right, I'm not one to really be entertained on like theories like that because you never really know, right? But that's wild, though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But they are so like something's crazy about them over there in Russia, because they come to every sport and at least a few of them make it to the top level every time. Like every time.
Yeah, and I think just how Russia's probably ran as a country as well too, where that is extremely important to them, where they are probably picking kids from. I think we got to think of a country, they don't operate the same way as the U.S. does, right?
Yeah.
You know, probably picking kids from 2 years old, and yes, you're going to be, and their whole life is dedicated to it. Now, again, I don't know how true that is. I never was born in Russia. I don't know much about it, but it probably is kind of like that. Cuba, as far as boxing go, very similar in the sense where, you know, you're not allowed to leave, but you're going to be, if you're one of the greatest boxers, biggest incentives, you're going to be taken care of, right? You're going to be good. Your whole family, everybody's going to be set, you know? But it's kind of ran like that. U.S. not ran like that, you know? So I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I'm pretty sure they have all sorts of ways of making these dudes into almost super soldiers, right?
And I've heard in so many sports, you hear fighters say, like, everyone takes steroids. I feel like there's some truth to that. Like, Nate Diaz is like, y'all don't even know everyone's on steroids. Like, he said it so many times. He's like, everyone's taking steroids. And there's so many physiques in fighting that's just like.
I'm saying this from the camera. I've never, ever taken those steroids. I don't ever plan. You know, I'm really big on, bro. I don't like taking any sort of supplement, just for the simple fact I just don't want there ever be a problem of saying that I've doped. No, that's not me.
And I don't like putting foreign bodies in my body.
I don't, bro.
Like,
I think the human body's so impressive, bro. I don't feel like we need to do anything. I feel like the body's just gonna just take care of itself. I don't go really. I've done it, where I've gotten like massage or I've gotten like readjustments and stuff like that. But my body's gonna take care of itself, right? It's miraculous enough where it can just go to this homeostasis and go back to its balance. I don't feel like I need to do anything. I don't take pre-workout. I have taken like protein and stuff, right? But sometimes I don't even like taking that because I'm like, I don't need to find out like this shit
got some like anabolic steroids in there too.
No. So I really honestly don't like taking those sort of drugs, to be honest, like that.
I avoid it. I'm the same way. Like, avoid medicine, all that stuff, unless I absolutely need it. Like,
I need to.
Because the more you take it, the more your body starts to rely on it.
It gets dependent on it.
Your ability to heal itself diminishes.
That's the whole thing of pre-workout. Like, people, no, I would never take no pre-workout. Because I need my body to function how it is. When it's time to compete and perform, I need to perform like that all the time when I'm in training. I don't need to feel like, okay, I'm feeling good. I took this pre-workout. Now when I can't take it, I'm like, I don't feel the same.
100%.
I don't know. It's kind of just an illusion, you know. And
that's truth too. Like, reliance is a big thing and something you build.
You know, when I was in college, there was this guy. Me and this one guy was really, really, really cool in the class, and it was a little community college back in Killeen. There's another guy. Well, he fought too. He did MMA, and this one I was kind of still relatively new to boxing. Maybe I boxed for like a year or something. Then there was another guy, right? He was like, I ain't gonna lie, this dude was pretty big. Like this, I don't know, a little like a Greek god or something. That dude's physique was impressive, not gonna lie. But He then joined the conversation. We were talking about fighting or whatever. He joined the conversation, said that he did like Muay Thai or whatever, and that he was out training like in Thailand, competing in Thailand or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes to say basically that he told us both, yeah, I take steroids, bro. You would not survive 2 days over there if you didn't take steroids or something like that. I remember looking at my homeboy. I said, yo, did this motherfucker just openly admit to taking steroids? I was like, do people have no integrity at all?
None.
I was like, who openly just admits to somebody that, yes, I take steroids? I was like, yo, what?
Mm-hmm.
First time I ever heard anybody ever say that. I was like, okay, bro.
Yeah, I've heard fighters mention that on like podcasts and stuff. They say the Thai fighters, like, they take steroids. Like Thailand is rampant over there. Like, so when I see UFC fighters train over there, I'm like, what you doing over there, man? There's Muay Thai people in America. What you doing over there? What you doing?
I don't know, I think it throw me off though. Like, I'm big on integrity. I'm not a cheat, especially in a sport like this where people's are dying, bro.
On the line. Yeah.
People are dying, bro, and you in the competitive. Like, no, I'm not that big to do that.
Yeah.
Tate, I seen some interview. Tate was saying like, if you were playing a pickup game of basketball for $100 and you had the opportunity to cheat, would you? And he said, yeah, you would. And he said, you don't think the whole world with trillions of dollars would cheat to win in the game of life or whatever?
I don't agree with that. I feel like you lose something of yourself when you do that.
Literally, I want to say that. But again, we're talking about us as individuals.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of people.
Majority. It's always the majority versus the minority.
Yeah,
and the majority will. I think. The majority
a lot of cheaters out here in this world for sure.
Oh, man. In all facets of life, not just sports, too.
Not just sports, bro.
Yeah.
But especially combat sports, there's been arguments I hear people talking about, like baseball, for example, right? On like, well, what's the problem? Like when people are taking steroids, baseball was at its most popular or whatever, right? Because like everybody's hitting home runs, it made it a lot more exciting of a game, and they were trying to petition saying like, oh, like baseball players should be able to take steroids. It's been great for the sport or whatever. And it's not like anybody's it's not like a physical sport or whatever, but at the same time, it's just like,
yeah.
Like
make another league, like make a league,
a steroid
league. Like, this is steroid ball.
Steroid ball, yeah.
You can join, you can take whatever the hell you want, like do it that way.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Found out like a lot, like WWE, they changed it. Said it's an entertainment. It's entertainment. It's not actual sport.
They are juiced to the gills.
So everybody's juiced
to the gill. Like Brock, when he left, was going to come back to the UFC. Lost, like you could see the definition was gone. They decided he wasn't going to come back to the UFC. You see him come out with the sleeveless shirt. I'm like, oh my, look at this Hulk, bro. I'm like, I would never get in the ring with Brock Lesnar.
No. But you know, it's surprising. I have heard similar stuff too about like a lot of people being on juiced up. People saying they went to certain camps and they was talking about they was taking steroids or they seen like actual like injections. I'm like,
bro, that's a red flag for me, man. Yeah, stay away from that, man. Keep it honest and keep going,
hey,
bro.
Look, I tell you, you ain't gotta worry about me.
That's good.
One something I do want to say about the like the steroid drug topic. One thing I don't like about I'm gonna just say society as a whole, right? Like as far as press goes, people only really put out like negative or controversial stuff, right? But there was a fight that was supposed to happen. The Conor Benn, Chris Eubank fight.
Yes.
And Conor Benn, they said tested positive, but he was saying he hadn't take nothing or whatever. And the whole card got canceled. And everything on the news talking about he's a cheat. He was taking drugs.
I thought he fought Liam Smith.
Yeah, Eubank getting to fight Liam Smith. This is a while ago, right? And we was at the gym. Martel was telling me, he was like, man, did you know that they said that they ended up finding that Conor Benn was innocent, that he was actually clean.
And they didn't say anything about it. Huh?
So there's a whole big press and stuff about Conor Benn being a cheat, right? And that's what only thing that people are going to remember. That's the only thing I remember. I didn't even know he was found clean.
Yeah.
There's no press ever about him being like about him coming out and like, oh yeah, he was actually clean the whole time. They don't ever press about stuff like that. That's so fucked up.
Negativity is
because something like that really jeopardizes somebody's next fight. That Conor Benn gets, oh, that's that cheat. He was the one that got tested positive for. The whole time he didn't, you know. But people are only going to think that because that's just what they've heard. That's been pushed out a lot, you know.
Bro, that's even worse. Like to backpack on that is worse. Like rape allegations that aren't true.
Bro, that
ruins people's lives.
That was
bro.
gonna be another one I was gonna hit. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Ruins
So the
people's lives.
another boxing example was the Rolly Tank. Rolly Tank was supposed to fight like a while back, but a girl came out saying that he raped her or whatever.
Tank
right?
or Rolly?
Rolly.
Uh-huh.
That Rolly had raped her, right? And she went on Twitter about it, and she's like, "I'm tired of seeing the man that like was choking me or something, succeeded in doing all this stuff." And long story short, they took him off the card, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he ended up fought Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz ended up stepped in and fought. But I was like, yo, that's, this whole system's supposed to be innocent till proven guilty.
It's not like that no more. It's guilty until proven innocent.
It's guilty till proven innocent, bro. And then, so I was like, yo, like, I thought it was fucked up. And again, I'm not ever saying he was, and I don't know the dude. I don't know if he did or didn't do it, right?
Funny guy.
But, I always felt like it's only right that somebody has the process to see if they're guilty or not. But just the accusation alone ruins people's
lives,
career.
bro.
It ruins people's everything, though, right? Because that's all people know him as, the rapist, right? Then found out later she like came out and said that she lied about it. That's how they end up were able to fight again. They end up fought later, but that was almost an opportunity of his life that would have changed forever if they would have fought first. Like, who knows what could have happened that time or whatever.
Bro, she should go to fucking jail for that. People who do that shit, who I think allegations of rape when it's not true, that deserves jail time because you need to deter women from doing that shit. Men too. I don't think men come out as often, so it's fair to say women. But women who do that to ruin someone's lives, like there was a similar example. The Supreme Court justice, I don't know, 2016, I think it was. I think that was the big thing in 2016 before the election, was the election or the trial of Judge Kavanaugh. Like, he was supposed to be sworn in. He was this judge, I think it was a Republican judge they were kind of trying to swear him in. Then this girl came out and said that he raped her back in college or something like that. Ruined his reputation. Like, the news was bashing him. Everyone, because, news is going to go after the negative stuff. So they bashed him. Just like, oh, rapist. Like, I can't believe this rapist. Like, Whoopi Goldberg, all of them on that little show. Everyone was just saying all this bad shit about him. Turns out she lied. It's over, though. His last 2 years of his life were just him being smeared as a rapist. And now he's a Supreme Court. He got sworn in as a Supreme Court justice, but like, he had to go through, and his wife was in family. He had a wife and family, kids. They were getting death threats. They were getting hate mail, all this shit. That woman that accused him, she's living her life. Yeah, like, living her life. Where's you got to have some sort of penalty to deter behaviors like this, in my opinion, because if you don't, people are just going to keep doing it. Like, there's no penalty. There's no negative repercussions from me saying some bullshit that fucked up someone's life.
Right.
Whereas, I'll do it again. I'm going to do it again next year. Like, who's famous next year? Like, hey, what's up? You touched me, motherfucker.
Yeah. And that's what makes, like, rape is such like I don't want to say like a hard topic, but, like, even trying to find like proof of it sometimes is not always like concrete. Like, he say, she say, or whatever, so it's always like a very kind of touchy subject, but it's unfortunate though. Like, it should never happen right in the first place. But I'm always gonna stand on like it should be innocent till proven guilty. That's what our system is supposed to be based on, right? Stuff like that shouldn't even be public or whatever until the whole case or trial is finished or whatever. Like I said, that shit's just fucked up.
Yeah,
it ruins people's lives for real. And I hate when sometimes we talk about something like this, people automatically seem like we're defending rapists. Like, nah, that's not the case. Fuck, rapists ain't, fuck them.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
They deserve to be under the jail or dead. Like, that's death penalty. That's what I think.
But again, people who actually didn't rape anybody don't deserve to be punished at all. They shouldn't be punished for something that they didn't do. I ain't gonna lie, that was like a like big fear of mine, like growing up, for whatever reason, was being wrongly accused of a crime. I'm not saying I'm talking about any crime, right? I had like nightmares about stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Something about not being able to like I'm telling the truth and nobody's listening, nobody can hear me. I'm like, no, seriously. I had nightmares for some reason about like situations like that.
That's why it's always just good to be careful, man. Like, always, every time you go through life, no matter who you interact with, be genuine, but be careful in the way you interact with them.
And just try your best not to put yourself in certain situations.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because
that's it.
you never know what could happen in any situation you involve yourself in, you know.
Avoid any gray area. That's my theory. Like there should be no gray area in interaction with anyone, man or woman.
Yeah.
Make sure it's just black and white. That's it. Don't have room for a gray area where you don't know how to describe what happened or what's going on. Always should be black and white. Very cut and dry. That's how I live my life. Like black and white. If you and I know what we're doing, that's it. We don't, I'm not doing it. Like that's it. Like, I'm gone. You should be gone too. Like, so that's how it should be. I mean, just always stay 10 toes. And you don't drink either, like a lot. So that's like even better because that's usually when the worst mistakes get made is when you're drinking.
Oh yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah.
So you being able to already cut that out of your life is a big, like, I commend you for that because that's a big deal.
Hey, actually, what I really got lucky on was really because I don't smoke either.
Yeah.
Not say I got like lucky on it or whatever, but that's never been a habit I've ever picked up. Which is crazy because, you know, I grew up, all my friends smoked or whatever. They be in a hot box in the car, like, well, look, I'll catch y'all. I'll be inside, man. I'll catch y'all or whatever.
Yeah.
My whole thing was I knew I couldn't hide it from my parents. You know what I'm saying? I also didn't have the money for it, right? But even if I wanted to try it, like, I couldn't hide it from them. They would know. And so it wasn't worth it. And so I got past the peer pressure phase.
Yep.
Right. Once I got past that, my friends, they even stopped asking me, hey, you want to hit this? You want to, come on, just one time, bro. You know, people in high school, they real big with that. Hey, come on, man, just one time. Okay, you know something I don't understand? I don't really be drinking like that, especially, you know, if I got a fight coming up or whatever, but I may still be at a function or whatever. I never understand this. And I let people know, yeah, I'm not drinking. Oh, come on, just one shot. What's one shot's not going to hurt? Just one shot. Yeah. Like, what is one shot going to do?
Yeah, no, you're
what is it, first of all, what does it do for you?
A little buzz back there, that's it, maybe.
What is it going to do for you? And it's not going to do nothing for me. I'm going to take one shot and I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel the same.
what is the benefit? I never understood that. I feel like people maybe just don't like drinking alone or something.
It is, bro. It's just like it's the mob mentality, bro. That's just so real. Like the mob mentality is like when you see someone not doing what everyone else is doing, you wanna, like, the mob wants them to conform. Like, you need to do this with us. Like, you should be doing this. Why aren't you doing this? Yeah. I'm like, you better back the fuck up.
I've never understood. It happens without fail almost every single time. Yeah. Unless obviously like my real close, they just know. You know what I'm saying? They're not even gonna ask me. A lot of people, they just be like, come on, just one. But why though? Like, I just don't get it. Yeah. No, like it does nothing for anybody. Just to take just one. I'm a drink, then I'm a drink. Yeah. Well, if I'm a drink.
Another tactic that people use is like bashing or like trying to negatively, like, I don't care. I don't take it personally. Like if they do it for me, I know they're just like, you know, fucking with me. Right. But looking at it objectively, what they're doing is trying to coerce me to do it by, you know, using negative tactics. And that for me and my friends, it's just them fucking with me. But like in other situations, other people probably are really getting pressured like that, like getting railed or like getting tacked shit to, like, you need to be doing this and shit. And because I've done that before too. I went out to like bars like Washington and I just wasn't drinking that night. And I told people I wasn't drinking. I'm just chilling. I'm cooling. And I was still socializing. I wasn't being weird. Like, I'm going to stand here in the corner.
Yeah, you can still have fun without drinking. It's been a good time.
But people were coming up to me. They're like, what you ain't drinking for? Like, drink, motherfucker. Like, stop being weird. I'm like, I'm not being weird. You being weird, motherfucker. Like, back up. Like, shit. But I don't know why that's a thing. But it's a thing. The mob mentality. Like, you have to conform. Like, we need you to become one of us. Yeah. Like, why is he not being one of us?
They can make them also feel weird, like they're doing something wrong,
maybe guilty or something.
Yeah, I think it makes them. I think it's a guilt thing too. Like I don't know.
You don't like seeing people, not us, but I'm saying like some people don't like seeing people do things that they consider good. So they'd rather pull them down to their level. Like, you shouldn't be doing good. So you come down.
That's the crab in the the crab in the bucket.
I don't know that one. This is a new saying for me.
Oh, that was new.
Teach me though. Come on.
Okay, well, that one is basically like how it came. I guess is like put crabs in a bucket. Crabs trying to get out. Right. Maybe I'm doing the best explaining this analogy, but I guess the crabs are trying to get
like lobsters or something.
Yeah, right. It'll be so completely different. I guess they put crabs in a bucket. The crabs are trying to crawl out, but the other crabs are just like grabbing them, dragging them down because that crab's trying to get up, and it's just constantly they're all just pulling each other down.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Nobody ends up being able to escape the bucket. Yeah. Right? They're all trying to get out of the bucket, but
keep pulling each other down.
And they keep pulling each other down.
That's good. One, yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe I heard that one.
Nuh-uh.
Crab
in the bucket.
Crab in the barrel bucket. One of those.
All right, I'm using that though. I'm adding this to the
Yeah.
repertoire.
Well,
I like
look-
pulling
well,
out one-liners and
Well,
shit.
look it up first.
All right, there we
Okay,
go.
make sure I told you the right story.
Yeah.
It's
All right,
something like
well,
that.
I think it's time for us to play some chess, sir.
Can I ask why there's an extra piece?
If one of your pawns, say your queen's still
Oh, okay.
alive,
All right.
one of your
I
pawns
got
make
you.
it to the other side, you got an extra queen if
Alright.
you got. Because I mean, you're not gonna ask for a rook, are you? Gonna
Yeah,
be like,
yeah,
I got
yeah.
my pawn. Give me a
Yeah,
rook.
yeah.
Give me a
Alright,
bishop. I'm like,
alright, that makes
hell nah,
sense.
give me a queen.
That makes sense.
All right, so let's get everything set up, and then we'll be ready to go. We ready to start the game? Let us know, and we can get going, John. Good to go. All right, let's start. White
All
goes
right.
first.
Let's just go ahead and just make some moves. We have a time. Is there any time like?
No time limit. No, the tip tap. None of that. All right.
I'm really finna blindly play right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Let's see. I think I know what you're trying to do, but
You don't know what I'm trying to do. Because I don't even know what I'm trying to do. How you gonna beat me trying to guess my moves? You don't even know what I don't know what I'm finna do. Let me
good.
see.
I think I still have a setup.
Dude, I'm trying to remember my big.
I just have like 3 moves I'm watching for that'll mess up my moves, so I'm hoping you don't do any one of them.
Man, I don't know what your move is, but
Interesting. Go ahead. Take it. It's right there.
ain't nobody worried about you, my boy.
That is an interesting opening though. I haven't played anyone who's used that opening.
I don't even know what I'm doing. I thought you was gonna try to take it or something, bro. I thought you was gonna try to take it or something. You gonna have to take that one, take that one.
Damn, what are you planning? I'm not even following your move. I think I get it, but oh damn, actually.
Tell you don't know what I'm finna do because I don't know what I'm finna do, bro. Let's see. You brought your queen out. Go queen for queen, bro. Let's stop being different.
I'll always trade my queen. I don't need her. I love her, but I don't need her.
Go queen for queen.
I mean, I need a queen in my life, but and I'm on the board.
My bad, bro. Give me a second.
No rush. Take your time.
I ain't gonna-
Once the guests, we've done this a few times. I'll start getting the timer like the professionals do. But right now, take your time. He's stalling people. He knows he's about to lose. He was watching videos and footage, thinking he was gonna do something today. That was actually a really good move. Damn, I should not have done that.
Think so? I don't know what I'm gonna do right now because I don't know what you seen that was like. Oh, it's a good move.
I had set up, but your move kind of threw it off a little bit, and I should have done something else. But
Okay.
I was being
Yeah.
pushy.
So you got me actually beat right now. No, because I can just go there. All right. Fuck it. I'm gonna go.
I feel like if someone who watches or plays chess watches us play, they're gonna be like, "Damn, these motherfuckers
He's
suck."
so stupid. I actually thought about a move, but then I just realized that was stupid. That's
Oh, well then go ahead, please do it by all means.
chill. Look at this. I'm gonna get my boy out. Interesting.
Not a bad play, sir. You have to abandon my strategy. I have to go somewhere else. He's blocking off my damn moves. I'm gonna go ahead and castle.
Okay, so what we'll do is, I think I want to do, you can do that. Oh, fuck, you do that, maybe screw it. Alright, boom. Then you can just go boom. Maybe I'll make that move first.
You got me beat right now.
Then maybe you can't do that. So you gotta make that move first, and you can. Maybe you can't move any of those. You attack any of those. I'll take your queen.
Mm-hmm. What you gonna do?
Let me go this one here first.
Oh, never mind.
Let me go that one there first.
So used to playing this on a phone. This is like weird to me.
I think I'm gonna do it. That one's not really blocking nothing. So you can't go there.
What are you planning, man?
Move there. I'm just taking another piece though. Fuck it. I'm not gonna. I'm thinking too much about it. I'm gonna just do it. Make the first.
Nice.
Damn it! I didn't see that motherfucking piece. Fuck. All right, that's not how I was planning on that going. Damn. I didn't see the piece over there.
You had a good setup, but
I'll
you rushed it with that rook, I think. But you still got some moves. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll always trade a rook for a knight.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
I don't like any of my moves, bruh. Alright. Fuck, man, just move this knight out. Damn, I messed up going too early, bro. I should have thought. I didn't see.
You had a good setup going.
I
was
didn't
like,
see. I didn't see your bishop right there.
I was worried for a second. Just for a second.
Cause every move, I was like, okay, then you have to do this, you have to do that. Didn't see that one. Always the ones you don't see. I told you it's the punch you don't see coming that gets you.
Always goes back to boxing.
All right, I'm thinking too much. Because I need you to make a move to give me an open.
Interesting. I gotta get you out of there, bud.
Oh, I can't do that.
Go ahead. Whatever you don't want to do, please do. Damn, I was talking shit too. I said I was gonna beat him in 4 moves.
What do you get in there? Alright, so I'll go ahead and just take that one. If I can't do it, then you take that one. Let me play this out right. Okay, so if I go there,
I've been playing like a bum this whole
I'll go
time.
there,
Not good.
you can go there, I'll go there, you go there. We just gonna make the move, bro.
Go for it. Hit it.
I'm gonna attack again without thinking.
Hit it. That's the great way to play. Come on.
Just attack without thinking.
Okay.
I'm offensive.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
offensive.
Would you take a bishop? That's okay.
Havoc.
You got. Damn, why'd you have to do that? Why'd you have to do that? Damn. Probably not. Probably wasn't thinking.
I thought about it, but I was like, no, I couldn't do that. Right there. Keep my queen there, though. Damn.
Damn. If I lose on my first episode.
All right.
After all that shit I was talking to. Damn, every guest is gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna whip his ass
I'm
now.
gonna buzz him up.
Damn. I'm getting my ass kicked right now.
No, I'm gonna offensive. Just say, I'm going.
Okay.
Okay, let's see what you're gonna try to do, because you're gonna just take that, and then wait up. If you take that. I think the queen would now be stuck. You can just go. You could do that like that. Again, you would be able to do nothing. What am I doing?
I've been asking myself the same question.
What am I doing?
I think I know what you're about to do. Yep. I knew that one's coming.
Anyone's still in that spot though. You could still do that. Oh!
you planning?
Curious on why you didn't do it. That's
Oh yeah, you're right. I should have. Fuck me. I'm in a great mood. I think I know what you're trying to do,
yeah.
but I think I blocked it.
All right. Boom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, over there. Okay, boom. I'm just waiting for one.
Please make that move. I don't know why you would make it, but if you make it, you're probably not gonna make it. But if you make it, oh,
Don't think too much.
please.
Okay, boom. I don't know what you're gonna do.
Mm. Hmm. Just give him that one. I just give it to you. I gotta just take it. But then I'm fucking up my whole strategy if I do that. Okay, strategy gotta change. I only got one move.
I know, but I'm trying to think what happened if you really, you know.
Oh no! Fuck! Oh,
Okay,
that was a mistake.
Real quick, what other move did I have?
I didn't even know that one. Fuck! I didn't even think about him.
What other move did I
Shit,
have?
that was bad. That was a mistake. I fucked up.
What other move did I have though?
Mm.
Let's see. Besides, I guess moving
Move
him.
the king. Yeah, that's it. I didn't even. Fuck! I'm dead, bro. I'm dead in the water. At this point, I might as well just sacrifice everything. Shit! I just lost my queen.
Well, then I could just take him. Yeah, let me just do that. Let me just take him.
Damn! Cannot believe I missed that.
Take him.
I'm gonna get clowned so bad. Shit.
I wish that was the best move.
That was horrendous. I was so confident too.
I
I was
almost
like,
messed up. I almost didn't move and gave you my queen.
I was so
I almost
confident.
didn't take the.
I was like,
Me
yeah,
though.
here we go. Check.
Gotcha.
Fuck. Damn, I'm down bad right now. There's no BN.
So once there's like one person has a queen, the other person doesn't, it's pretty difficult.
But I never give up.
That's it. That's like the.
I could just be wasting my time, but you know, I'm never gonna give up.
I want to take that. I hate the rooks though. I like the rooks.
Those are my favorite pieces besides the queen and the bishops. Actually, I don't know. I like the knight sometimes. Depends.
I could just move on the other way.
Damn. Got my ass kicked on my first episode. way to start.
Wait, move am I trying to make?
I mean, I only got 2 pieces now to use, and then a bunch of pawns to sacrifice. I feel a resignation coming here shortly. Yeah.
Well, I don't do no dumb shit, right? I can still do some dumb shit. Still possible. Hold on real quick. I'll make sure you can do that.
Looks like I'm gonna be practicing a little bit more. I'll be on chess.com all evening.
Okay, I think I got it. I think I know how to win. Every other moves you can make. Boom. Boom. Boom.
The boom boom.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
actually I can't do that. That's a wasted move. Nice.
I think I should. Didn't foresee.
That is checkmate.
Did I win for
GG.
your boy?
Good job, man. Damn, fuck me up. And here I was talking all that shit, and you were right. You called it. You said you may surprise me.
I think, hey, I told you, look, you can't guess my moves if I don't even know them.
I don't think you surprised me. I think I surprised myself how ass I was today playing this game. But hey, bro, appreciate it for joining today, man. It was great to have you on the podcast.
I was actually enjoying myself, man. That was good.
Absolutely, bro.
That was good.
We'll do this again sometime soon. After your next fight, we're gonna have you on for sure.
Do it.
All right, man. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
We clear?